And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Top Rope Renegades This Week in Wrestling. This is episode number 17. We have a big SummerSlam recap to get to, and of course, many other things. Before we get things kicked off, RK has joined me. RK, how are we doing over there?
Honestly, man, I have no fucking clue how Hook does this. I can't see shit right now. I no fucking clue, man.
Uh,
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know how it is. It is Thursday. It is recording day. It's
yep.
good. I saw that we're up to 18 subs, so that's awesome. Shout out to the buddy you met in the bar. Going out there, putting in the work. Hey, at this rate, I think we're gonna be on, par with Collision viewership numbers pretty soon.
We're getting close. As long as we didn't have the Olympics are kind of hampering our numbers at this point. So
It is. It
Uh,
is the Olympics.
once the Olympics wrap up this weekend, I think we'll be okay moving forward. But other than that, yeah, I'm doing
I
good.
mean, Logan Paul will be happy if the Olympics are done.
I just got back from Chicago, Illinois. I went to a Cubs game yesterday. I got some sun. I had some fun, and back home, I wasn't planning on watching Dynamite, but we did right before we recorded, and that was something. We'll talk about it when we get to it. But other than that, life's good over this way, and I'm glad to hear things are going well in Canada. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Questionable.
We got SummerSlam to go through. We have SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and we have the news, and all
Hey,
that good stuff.
I think we're angling for a good week here on This Week in Wrestling.
Yeah, me too. We're gonna. We talked about. We actually didn't get a firm answer if we were gonna go right into SummerSlam, but I think we shouldn't, or should we? Do you want to?
I think we should. What? Yes,
Get,
we did have a firm answer. Where were
my,
you? I
uh,
know
ha-
you're all like, I'm upset we have to watch Dynamite, man.
I just didn't know if we wanted to talk about the SmackDown prior to SummerSlam,
Nah,
because,
fuck it. SummerSlam,
but
man.
you're right, nothing much really happened on
I mean,
that.
we can open with a Dynamite if we want all our viewers to leave.
No, let's do it though. Let's talk about SummerSlam as a whole before we get into the news and the regularly scheduled program we have here. Um, Overall, before we dive into each individual match, what did you think of the SmackDown, or at least SmackDown, the SummerSlam show, WWE SummerSlam in Cleveland?
Fucking Jelly Roll, man. That dude is a dog. My God, that dude made that show, man. Um, It's weird because he asked me 2 months ago if I like Jelly Roll. I'm like, who the fuck is Strawberry Turnover? But
Yeah,
now Jelly Roll's he's the dog, man.
yeah,
Liar is an absolutely banner of a track. His little interaction later in the show that he gets, that was fun. People were ragging on it, saying that it didn't need to be part of the show, but it was so much fun. Yeah, Jelly Roll, highlight of the weekend. I mean, I'm obviously kidding because the
yes.
wrestling was on point this weekend, but no, Jelly Roll, huge shout out to that guy. That guy is legit.
Another song by Jelly Roll called Get Up or Get Out is coming out. It's called Get By. And Jelly Roll's song Get By will be the ESPN anthem for college football this year.
Nice.
So he is on fire. And yeah, we opened the show with Jelly Roll, kicking things off with America the Beautiful. And then I think RK's words were,
I believe my exact words were, "Fuck, if
yeah.
this dude sings America the Beautiful every time, I'll watch that shit."
It was the best version of American Beautiful RK's ever heard. And then he kicked things off with the performance of Liar, and just putting the video packages with his song singing was fantastic. We had the host of the event, of course, The Miz, and the broadcast team of Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, Corey Graves all night, and Triple H was the one to intro Jelly Roll, and he seemed like he was having the time of his life out there. People were on Twitter bashing Triple H, saying, "Oh, he doesn't have an ego at all. Look at him." Why? Because he comes out and he welcomed a packed house in Cleveland. Who, by the way, we talk shit about the non-North American crowds. This Cleveland crowd was hot all night, and I was happy to
It
hear
was
them.
hot.
So yeah, we kick things off with the WWE Women's World Championship match. This was Liv Morgan taking on Rhea Ripley, Dirty Dom, with Rhea as we entered the fray. I have my notes pulled up, but I feel like I remember enough of the pay-per-views to not even look at it. I think this was a
Don't
Pretty,
lie. You're just titled of reading Fightful's write ups.
they are tough reads recently. Actually, I probably should read them to see if we get more mistakes. But this match was really good.
It's why we watch Dynamite.
You
Well, it was worth it. In the end, it was worth it. So we'll get to it. But yeah,
this match was really
I
good.
feel like the same people that write for AW write for Fightful right now.
Well, it doesn't anyway. Tony Khan only writes for I don't know. Anyway,
No,
with that,
Dave Meltzer writes for
he don't write for Fightful.
no, but he
Fight,
writes for AW, and Tony writes for Fightful, and Fightful writes for
it's
Brian,
all it's
and
all a
Brian's
rig.
just an idiot.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, I thought this first match between Liv and Rhea was really, really good. And then we get to the finish here. Before we get to the finish, though, what do you think of the action prior to the ending of the match?
I mean, Rhea back in her first
Mhm.
match since her injury. Doesn't look like she missed a step. Liv can go too, but Rhea's just on a different fucking level, man. She
Yeah.
is. Uh, China walked so Rhea could run. Rhea has taken like the whole women's division by storm.
Mhm.
Um, you talk about the revolution, whatever the fuck the four horsewomen were called, the revolution of women's
They
evolution.
were big in the getting that all women's pay per view to come. But the four horsewomen, yes.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, they really kicked it off from the divas to the women being respected as wrestlers as they respectively deserve. But Rhea's just on a different level. She has the aura that I will get to in Raw that certain people don't have right now. Um, she has the skill set. She looks great. She looks mean. She looks strong, powerful. Everything does looks good. And Liv's no slouch either. But Rhea
Mhm.
just is something different. She is the top of the women's division for as long as she wants in WWE. She
She
controls the shots. Like
she's
I'm not
fantastic.
even sure why Buddy Matthews even thought about resigning. Rhea just had to go to Trips and be like, "Yo, Buddy, he's coming back." And Trips like, "Yes, yes,
Yeah,
ma'am,
whatever
yes,
you
mommy."
want. I think she's just fantastic in the ring, not from just an athletic standpoint and what she can do, but with also the
Everything.
storytelling that she can portray in the ring. The whole shoulder angle where her shoulder was out of place and her going to pop it back in by slamming it into the table. Um,
Funny story. I worked in a restaurant when I was younger, and one of the delivery drivers for the restaurant, I went around the back to the stock room, and I just see him slamming his shoulder into the wall. I'm like, what in the fuck? I'm like 17. I'm like, what in the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, my shoulder popped out. Does it all the time. Just trying to put it back in. I'm like, okay, you do, you do. So
so
yeah, legit. That's definitely one way to get your shoulder back in.
So, let's talk about the main points here of the match. Rhea was going to go for the big finish on Liv, but then she got frustrated and was going to take a steel chair to her. And the steel chair was interrupted by Dom saying, "Hey, you can't win the match this way, mommy. You can't win the match." She's like, "You're right, Dom. I believe every word you say." And then lo and behold, he stuck to his name. Dirty Dominic Mysterio plants the chair, points at the chair for Liv Morgan, setting Rhea Ripley up for the finisher for Liv to hit. Why am I spacing the name of it at this moment? Um,
Oblivion.
the Oblivion. Sorry, I'm still half here, half there from Chicago. Hits the Oblivion on the steel chair that was planted by Dominic Mysterio, leading to Liv picking up the 1, 2, 3, and then Dom picking up Liv and kissing Liv profusely. I don't know how Dom's wife is okay with it, but I mean, I
You
get
know
it.
what?
It's storytelling. It's the job.
It's it's acting. Actors kiss and shit. Like it's acting. They're acting.
It's
We
acting.
all know this. They're acting. Um, I get it. In the history of wrestling, a lot of marriages, a lot of relationships are probably broken up by the shit that goes on in wrestling.
Mhm.
It- you know, Mark
That's why.
Marrow.
That's
Mark
why.
Marrow has one of the greatest stories of all time. He's like when he found out Sable was cheating on him and all that shit. And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna find that motherfucker. I'm gonna beat the shit out." And it's like, I want to know who it is. And everyone's like, "Yeah, yo, it's Brock Lesnar." And he then goes on to say, "I have never understood the meaning of peace better than in that moment in my entire life. So
It's in I mean, there is a reason why a majority of professional wrestlers are with other professional wrestlers because you're on the road with that person all the time, barely any time at home. So God bless those that stay at home. That's depends. You got to be with a tough person, I would say, to
also,
understand it.
another little side note is I think, somebody's got to check on that little kid who Dom talked to before SummerSlam. There was a video going around. I don't know if you saw it. I'll send it to you later. But there's this little fan, young fan in the back talking to Dom. He's like, "Yo, why won't Liv leave you alone?" And Dom's like, "Yo, I keep telling her that, but she won't listen." And the kid's like, "Yo, a lot of people think you're gonna turn on mommy tonight, on Rhea tonight." And Dom's like, "Yeah, no, I would never do that." And the Punk walks into the scene. And he's like, "I even talked to Punk about it." And CM Punk's like, "Yeah, no, he definitely said he wouldn't, but if he did, it's for him." So, and then Punk walks off, and Dom's like, "I'm Team Mommy all the way, little man." Somebody's got to check on him. That kid's devastated right now.
I was lied to by Dom and CM Punk. No, but overall, it's a pay per view. We don't normally do this, but maybe we bring it for just the pay per views. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give the opening match?
I don't buy into your arbitrary rating system, so I'm giving this match 3 stars.
I thought we were gonna have a serious moment there, but we didn't. So it was just an angle match, apparently. Okay.
Yeah, no. I every week it's like he lives in my head rent free. He doesn't. I just can't believe the shit that manages to continue to come out of these guys' mouths. But
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer on this
Who?
whole fucking paper. It was an angle show. It was a
Who?
great show. I liked it, but it was an angle show. If you want to watch great wrestling, you weren't watching this show. But for
Who?
angles and predictability, it's a great show.
Who?
Don't know.
Okay.
Tuna Meltzer.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I mean, he smells.
Yeah. Anyways, nonetheless, I see what you did there. The who?
Yeah.
We'll get to that at Dynamite, but yeah, no, man. I was on Facebook today on a dirt sheet page, and I really shouldn't be because I just get in arguments with people, but um guy post Dave Meltzer talking about fucking Takeshita and Phantasmo over in New Japan G1, which we got to watch that match apparently. But Dave Meltzer, in typical fashion, saying, Raw was great, SummerSlam was great, but I think I'm overrating WWE because this match was great wrestling, and I think I just overrate WWE sometimes. It's like you don't overrate WWE ever. You say good things about WWE, and then in the same breath, fucking bury them at the same time. You're not overrating nothing. You're Ugh. Anyways, I'm over it. I'm done for now until we get to the next thing that pisses me off about Meltzer. But yeah, out of 10, this match it was very entertaining. And why do we watch this, Kurt? Why do we watch wrestling?
To
To
be
be bored?
entertained.
To be bored? To
Be
be going,
entertained.
why the fuck are we watching this right now? No, we watch it to be entertained. I was fucking entertaining this match. I don't care if the ending was predictable. It was what we all wanted to happen.
Yep.
Dom somehow as a heel made a heel turn. How
Yep.
fucking phenomenal is that? Has that ever been done before where a heel actually turned more heel? In like how? But anyways, he's managed to do it. Dom is a legend at this point, and it was fun and entertaining. Out of 10, I would legit give this like an 8.
I'm right there with you. An 8, 9 out of 10. It was just a good way to set the tone and open up what would be, as we get through it, a fantastic
And Rhea,
SummerSlam.
fucking bravo to Rhea when the kiss happened and the look on her face. I'm like, that is a perfect mix between
Yeah.
pain and anger, and I'm gonna murder you, but I also want to die inside all at the same time. She
Yep.
nailed that look perfectly. She is so fucking good at what she does.
So, and still will be Liv Morgan, the WWE Women's World Championship champion. Up next is the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn defending against Braun Breaker. Breaker immediately kicks things off, going for a spear. And I'm sorry, I'm skipping over one kind of important thing. That was after the Liv Morgan Rhea match. That backstage, we saw Damian Priest storming into the locker room looking for Dom, and he was going to kill Dom. The rest of Judgment Day was just telling, we haven't seen him, focus on your match, and we'll look out. We'll look for him. That would have been Finn,
Oh yeah, they will.
Carlito, and JD.
Oh, they will definitely look for him.
So back to the Intercontinental Championship match. Braun Breaker kicked things off with a attempted spear on Sammy to begin, but Sammy got out of the way, sending Breaker crashing into the ring post. We get a top rope Congero back in the ring, a dive. It was just a fast paced, quick match. It really was a quick match with Breaker evading the big moves, Sammy evading the big moves. But Sammy went for the Blue Thunder Bomb with Braun landing on his feet with a backflip before attempting a Bulldog. Zane catches him with a Blue Thunder Bomb, near fall, exploder suplex, goes for the Aluva kick, and then he got caught with a vicious spear from Braun Breaker for the 1, 2, 3. Vicious spear, and then he hit another spear, back-to-back spears. Was a hell of a win for Braun Breaker, and the deserved win. What did you think?
Again, exactly what I was hoping would happen. It was a quick match. It was clocked in at 5 minutes and 42 seconds. I've been reading a few things about it, and I think originally they were planned to go for about 12 to 14 minutes. I'm kind of wondering if that one little move where Braun landed on his neck a bit caused them to rush to the finish because maybe they were concerned for Braun.
Hmm.
Obviously, being a pay per view, you don't want to just throw up the X and you know totally kill the whole angle.
Right.
But
He
I
seemed
feel
okay.
like maybe I feel like maybe because the finish came very quickly after that moment, so I feel like maybe they were just say, "Hey, let's get this wrapped up. Make sure you're okay, Braun." That's my take on it. I'm not saying that's what anybody else has said. I just know that I read that the match was originally scheduled for about 12 to 14 minutes. So I'm just curious
Mm.
because the finish came rather quick after that moment. So
That's possible. They called a pivot there.
nonetheless, quick match. The right result. Braun is a star. He feels like Gunther holding that title. Like it belongs.
Yeah.
Um I like it. I want to see where they go with it. Braun's the future. The Braun is the future of this
Hmm.
company. These are the kind of homegrown talents that WWE does so well. That's why that's why they're down in NXT for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. They're getting ready to be
Hmm.
main stars. I feel like sometimes you rush up these kids a little too soon and they don't flourish on the main roster. I mean, not that I was a huge fan of Lyra to begin with, but she's not really
Yeah.
she's not it. Carmelo, the book's still on out for me too. He's huge in NXT and he's doing stuff on the main roster, but
I mean,
he's not him on the main roster.
he's having good matches. Him and Andrade
He's
are putting
having
on
good matches,
fucking
but the crowd's
bangers.
not like hot for him like NXT was.
Right. That's fair. And the crowd is hot for Braun Breaker.
The crowd's very hot for Braun Breaker.
So yeah, I give that one about a 7 out of 10, maybe. Um,
Uh, for the
six.
quickness of the match, I'd wanted to see more. I'm giving this one about a 6.
Okay, I'm with you on that one. Up next, the United States Championship on the line. Logan Paul with local hero, local legend of Cleveland, Machine Gun Kelly, which was funny to me because he's buddies with Jelly Roll, and Jelly was not on Logan's side, but wrestling. Machine Gun Kelly comes out with Logan Paul taking on, of course, L.A. Knight. What'd you think of this match? I don't really want to dive through every ins and outs because Fightful for the first time and their rundowns actually did a very, very, very deep dive of everything that actually happened in the match
Yeah,
from
we're here
exchanges
to
and
we're here to touch on the results, touch on a couple of big spots in matches. We're not
yeah.
here to give you a full review. We our show's already run 3+ hours usually. We love wrestling, but I mean, if you
Hmm.
guys aren't watching the shows, then you don't come here for the full
I
match recap.
am I am going to hit on obviously the
I
moonsault
just
that
I just
Logan Paul
finished
hit.
saying that we hit on the main fucking Jesus Christ. Do you even listen to me sometimes?
Can I explain
Do I
myself?
gotta go do it? Do I gotta go fucking heal again? I'm
Can
really
I
not.
can I explain why I wasn't listening? Because I glanced up and something caught my eye in the article, and it's going to get a reaction out of you.
Yeah, whatever. Just don't listen to me as per
The
usual. I'm
reaction
fucking. There's a reason I'm fucking
you're gonna
motherfucker.
you're gonna get a fucking
Go.
reaction after I read this because you're gonna be like, okay, stop reading
If I
these
don't get a
articles.
reaction, I am flying on my PJ to Indy.
Paul caught Knight with the brass knuckles and went for the buckshot lariat. However, he did not have the precision of Hangman Adam Page, which allowed Knight to catch Paul mid move before hitting the BFT for the win. So Fightful
Why is Fightful fucking bringing up AEW during a fucking WWE fucking review?
got a reaction. But yeah, that's what I thought too. While you were talking, I'm like, they like I because I
This is
look
your boy. This is your boy Sean. This is your boy Sean.
literally. This was my I'm listening and I glance and I saw in parentheses Hangman and I'm like, they didn't. And then I read it. I'm like, they fucking did. They just had to throw in there that it wasn't as good as Hangman's. But yeah, that happened. I think the craziest
These
move of the match.
motherfuckers claim to be journalists. We claim to be fans talking shit.
Yep.
These guys have no fucking proper bias to anything. It's
It's no, they have a bias towards some.
anyways, continue. I gave my spiel. Yeah, we're not here to review the
The
match hit
the
for hit.
the
You
best
watch the
spot,
show, or I don't understand why. Unless you're watching us just because you love us, which is cool because right back at you. But
yeah.
um,
The best
I
spot,
mean,
the moonsault.
see this face, it's just
Yeah,
gorgeous.
the moonsault, the springboard moonsault that Logan Paul hit on LA Knight was fantastic. It was a standing. I don't even know how to describe that moonsault. It was a twist onto the rope moonsault. It was fantastic.
There's a spray. So he springboarded up, but as he was springboarding up, he did like a 180, landed backwards on the top rope, and then did the moonsault. Unreal. I've never seen it.
Yeah, that was the first I've seen of
And
that.
it was flawless. How do you do that flawlessly? This guy's only been wrestling for what, 2 years? Two and
Right,
a
and
half years?
he may be over 20 matches now. I don't know.
Flawless.
Yeah, but then the finish came where Logan hit him with the brass knuckles. He went for the buckshot lariat. And as Fightful says, he did not have the precision of Hangman Adam Page, which allowed LA Knight to catch Paul mid move before hitting the BFT for the 1, 2, 3.
The
This
fact
was
that
LA
there's
Knight's
only like
first
maybe
title win.
4 or 5 guys on this planet that I've seen do a buckshot lariat and not fuck it up. I think Logan deserves a little respect on it because he does it pretty good.
So, LA Knight, new United States champion. What'd you think?
LA LA Knight deserves this, man. Again,
First
predictable
title.
outcome,
First title win.
maybe. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm predictable outcome. This is what Meltzer and Alvarez and all these fucks were handing on that it was a predictable show. It's like as fans, the things that we want to happen are happening. So are we not happy? If they weren't happening, we'd be pissed off, and you'd be talking about, oh, look, these guys just aren't. They tell this big story and then they don't come through on it. It's just like you're just gonna bitch about it anyways. So,
Yeah.
anyways, yes, predictable finish, 100%. Um, rumors aside about all the shit with Logan Paul in the Olympics, whatever. We're not here to talk about that shit. This match was good, awesome, fantastic. I enjoyed every second. Logan Paul is amazing. He's fantastic. He is dedicated to putting on banner matches. I would much rather watch him put on 3, 4 banner matches a year instead of seeing him every week on TV.
Yeah. I get that.
Um, so yeah, this match was, yeah, it was the right finish. LA Knight, this is this is a locker room win. Um, which when we get to the Gunther match is another locker room win, and I'll explain what that is if you don't quite follow. But this was a locker room win for the guys. LA Knight has worked his ass off to get where he is. He has gone through multiple character changes, probably you know inches away from being fired because Max Dupree wasn't working out. Like here he is, United States champion, and this guy honestly is probably the first United States champion to have the same caliber and same aura. I like that word lately for characters, but as John Cena had holding that United States championship.
Ooh, that's a bold statement, but I can't disagree with it. I agree. 7 out of 10 on this match. Maybe an 8 just because of that moonsault, but
Logan
overall,
Paul, I'm giving this one an 8.
yeah, great match. What do we got next? We had a hilarious ad
Oh,
for
back up. One more thing though. You're talking about I'm gonna cut you off. You're because I wanted to say at the beginning, but then you started talking. I didn't cut you off there. I'm cutting you off now. Nonetheless, you're talking about an MGK and Jelly Roll are friends. They released that single recently, Lonely Road. Check it out if you haven't. It's actually
great
really
song.
fucking good. I'm not a huge MGK fan. Team Eminem all the way. But nonetheless, halfway through the match started. MGK was hanging with Logan's boys. Halfway through the match, he was over sitting by Jelly Roll.
Yeah, and then he went back over. He's like, "Oh shit, I gotta do the spot with the
Oh, I got a
brass
spot.
knuckles."
I got a spot.
No, yeah, that was good. That was hilarious. But yeah, we got a hilarious ad, by the way, for Manscaped featuring Otis, Maxine Dupree, Akira Tozawa, Apollo Crews, and Baron Corbin. Manscaped, the best a man can get. I think it's Gillette, but I
Just
don't know.
go look it up online. I'm sure it's there.
It's
It's
hilarious. The next match was a match that I did not have the highest hopes for from an in-ring perspective, and it did impress me. And that was the WWE Women's Championship match. It wasn't anything about Bayley. I always get worried about Nia Jax. Bayley defending against Nia Jax. Um, the finish came where Nia hit two jackknife power bombs and then two annihilators to pick up the win. 1, 2, 3, and celebrating, of course, with Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton. So we have a new women's champion. She beats Bayley, Nia Jax. What do you think of the match?
12 minutes, 31 seconds. I really could have done without like the first 7, 8 minutes of this match. It was very slow and plodding. I mean, I'm not
Sure.
expecting great things out of Nia Jax. I am 100% on Team Nia Jax and her push right now. I think she has done a
Mhm.
phenomenal amount of work from when she was fired to rehired to where she is now. She deserves it. She has put in the work. Um, she ever since the Queen of the Ring and the whole I'm the best angle that she's running right now, I think it's phenomenal for her. This
Mhm.
whole little stuff with Tiffany Stratton right now is kind of cool too. That's going to set up something fun. Um, the last 5 minutes of this match was where I was like, okay, shit, fuck, Nia can go too. When she
Mhm.
like they found their rhythm, and the last 5 minutes of this match was awesome. And as much as I hate seeing Bailey lose anything, um, it took a lot to take her down. Two annihilators,
Mhm.
like she kicked out of the first one. Who's kicked out of Annihilator?
Right. Uh,
Bailey. And then the list ends. So
yep.
Bailey, she looked extremely strong in the loss. I don't think this hurts her.
Well, when she freaking countered one of the annihilators and liar bomb Nia Jax,
She carried her
I
halfway
was like,
across the ring. Shit.
okay, and yeah,
Yeah, no, Bailey's legit. Nia, she looked good. Like I said, the
she's
first
a
half of this
powerhouse.
match,
She's just a
she is.
powerhouse. That's what she is. And,
It's it is.
you
But
know,
I like her character. I like the arrogance.
yeah, it fits.
She plays a good heel, and you know what? We'll fucking bringing up Dynamite during a fucking WWE show here, but once again, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Um, she gets a reaction. She gets a reaction to her heel tactics.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna bring up Dynamite or no. Okay,
I did.
um,
I'm just. I mean, anybody who
I get
knows
it. I
knows what
get
I'm
it.
talking
I
about.
know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, you're right. It took two jackknife power bombs and two annihilators for her to get the 1, 2, 3. So that made Bailey look strong that she could even kick out of the annihilator. But yeah, so now we'll see with Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton's got that Miss Money in the Bank briefcase. Will she cash in on Nia eventually? I think so. Um, the question is, with the Tiffany cash in on Nia, Tiffany go face? Because I don't think Tiffany could be a good face right now.
No, she's got that.
She's got the
I'm
bitchy,
beautiful and you're not fucking
right?
thing to her.
The crowd still cheers her. We still the cheering for Tiffy time
Like
is still loud.
you know that movie Mean Girls? Yeah,
Yeah,
Tiffany should have been in that.
she would have been yeah, the main lead. No, for sure. We'll see what happens though. We got a lot of Smackdowns to go. Can't wait to see how that rolls through. Up next was the
Whoa,
highly
whoa. We're not rating these matches now. We just stopped midway
oh, I
through.
did. I'm gonna give this one a 6. You know what?
I'm
No.
giving this one a.
Yeah, 6, 6, 6.
I'm giving this one a 6 as well, just because the first half of the match was just slow.
I was only gonna say a
It,
7.
it found them time to get going.
I was only gonna go 7 because I was impressed by Nia in this more than she exceeded what I thought was gonna happen in this match. So I'll stick with a 6 though. But up next was a highly anticipated match, one of the best feuds in WWE since his return. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, special guest referee Seth Rollins. This had all the hits. This had the special guest referee not paying attention, not caring, letting these guys kill each other. The bracelet, the friendship bracelet with Larry and AJ on it for CM Punk came into play, where Punk, that's what I guess you could say, cost him the match, as Drew will pick up the win. Um, but what was most impressive to me was that CM Punk came back and he looked good. And I think I was worried about it, as well as RK, and he'll talk about that in a second. But I was worried that maybe Punk just doesn't have the in ring capability anymore. But I think he had a really good match here. What do you think of this grudge match? And will we get another one?
So I hate to agree with him, the man who will not be named.
Hmm.
Um, I could have done with a little bit less of Seth in this match. Um, don't get me wrong, it fit the match perfectly. The whole angle of this match, it fit. It works. It did what it's supposed to do. Everything that happened in this match happened for a reason. It's smart booking. I could have done with a little bit less, but I think that's going to correct itself. They're ready for the big banner of the rematch that is probably going to happen at Hell in a Cell,
Well,
at
bad
Bad
blood,
Blood.
but should be an L.
Get
So
rid of all the distractions. Two men in a cell. That's what that thing was
hear
designed
me
for
out.
in the first place.
Hear me out. Could it be a triple threat?
No, no, don't do that. That would
Well,
just ruin it.
we'll get
This
into
needs,
Raw. We'll get into Raw anyway. So you're right.
nonetheless, this is what the Hell in the Cell was created for in the first place: was two men finishing out their feud. No interference, no way to get out, no nothing. You're finishing it right there. I think that's the perfect. I thought this would be the finish of the feud. It's not, and I'm okay with that.
I I
It's perfectly
truly
fine.
think that they're going to carry Drew and Punk for a little bit longer, so that the WrestleMania match is Seth versus Punk. Still, I
Yeah,
think.
and that's fine. I'm cool with it. So yeah, I could use a little less Seth. It worked though, and in the end, the whole thing here, and this was brilliant, is CM Punk's own paranoia screwed himself. He
Yep.
could have won that match. He could have won that match. He could have had it, but his own paranoia, thinking that everybody's out to get him,
That set when
ruined it, cost him that match.
Seth picked up that bracelet when it dropped to the ground and put it on his arm.
I said it during the match. Hey, Punk, he's just doing his job. He's just doing his job.
He picked it up, put it away, put it on his arm, and that Punk was like, "Oh, you're screwing with me. You're screwing with me." The paranoia kicked
But
in.
anyways, nonetheless, yes, and Punk, yeah, came ready. The dude looked good. He's in shape. He's probably, honestly, I'm thinking back to like his main run back in
11.
2009 to 2014, that era. I think he's in better shape now than he was then.
I don't know if the cardio is the same, but like body wise, like
Well,
it looks like he looked
my
great.
cardio is nowhere near the same as
No.
I'm fucking nearly 40, so I get it. But he looks good. He looks good. He packed on a shit ton of muscle. He looks really
Hmm.
good.
So Drew McIntyre is your winner. What do you got on this one?
If you take Seth out of this match, I'd probably give it a 9. With Seth in there is just a touch too much. Seth, I'm giving it a 7.5.
I was going 8. I was sticking solid with the 8 because I loved the story that got told. With the people were bashing the whole, oh, they're it's about a bracelet now. It's like if you fucking listen and pay attention,
No, that's not what
it
it's about.
there it
It was
was
Punk's
literally.
paranoia. That's what the fuck it was
Yeah,
about.
but the bracelet also had the deep meaning to him because it was tied to his family, and they furthered it once we get to Raw. Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that was
it does
beautifully
have that
done,
meaning, but still, it's his own paranoia thinking that Seth was out to get him.
and it was
Seth
always
was equally screwing the both of them throughout that whole
yeah,
match. The time he was tying his shoes, like, is this legal? Nah, I got to tie my shoe right
yeah,
now. Like,
and then when
he was
you think
screwing both
about
of them.
it, what was it? It's always been Drew has screwed Drew over so many times because of his paranoia, and now it's Punk doing the exact same thing. So it's a beautiful way of telling the story. And yeah, it was a good angle. No, it was a good fucking professional wrestling match because
I'm
that's
only
what it
saying
is.
angle a lot tonight because I'm pissed off about
That's so
fucking
stupid.
tuna.
Finn Balor met with Damian Priest to tell him they could not find Dom, that Dom probably split. Balor told Priest that if you need me, I will be there. Just say the word. That brings us to the WWE World Championship match. The champion, Damian Priest, defending against Gunther. And this match, boy, we talk about the chops that Gunther delivers, but we got to also talk about Damian's chops and his like elbow smashes per se. This was a hard hitting contest. Two big guys, hard hitting, going at it. I'm just gonna get straight to the finish. Uh, Damien or Finn did come out to the ring, of course, and This was beautiful. How Damien hits. Was it the South of? Yeah, it was the South of Heaven choke slam. I thought it was the Razor Edge. South of Heaven choke slam at the end there. Rolls up Gunther, goes for the 1, 2, 3, but his foot is on the rope, and it was none other than Finn Balor who put Gunther's foot on the rope to stop the count. Damien, they showed him looking at the big screen of the replay of Finn doing it. Damien lost all control, going to grab Finn, allowing Gunther to but didn't he try and pin him once?
So okay, the finish after all that shenanigans went on, Gunther put Damien in the sleeper.
Right.
You think Damien's about to go out, he rallies back, gets a
That's what it was.
2 pin,
That's
and
what it
then
was.
Gunther turns it back around and puts another sleeper. Then Priest goes out.
Mhm. And yeah, this was Gunther, the crowning of Gunther as the world heavyweight champion. He is the first ever wrestler to have held both the NXT United Kingdom Championship and a WWE or the world or regular WWE championship in history. Just an interesting little fact.
Want another interesting little fact? Gunther in his WWE career has held a title for 77% of all his time in WWE. He's
He's
only lost like 6 times, period, in like 5 years.
he's incredible. He's incredible. New world champion.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Thanks.
this. So, Damian Priest, did I send you a picture of what he said? I think I did. Damian Priest, all things aside, breaking kayfabe, talking about shit, but that's in this case, I was actually kind of cool with it. Let me just find it here. Sorry. I don't know why my camera roll isn't working. Crap, I'll find it. Anyways, unless this match of the night, hands down. Um,
Yep.
Damien is a freaking. I was saying this to you while we were watching Dynamite. WWE has turned Damien into a bona fide top tier superstar. We'll get into it more on Raw, but I've never seen Damien when he came out as the broken
Archer of Infinite.
arrow, broken arrow, broken archer gimmick, whatever. Could anybody have pinned him as being top tier WWE champion, part of one of the biggest storylines going?
No,
Would
not
you
in
have
that
pinned
moment.
it?
Nope, not at that moment.
So yeah, that's cool. I'm really just trying to find this tweet. Anyways, basically the main story of it is Damian Priest said right there, us two guys, me, Gunther, guys that aren't your typical. We ain't AJ Styles. We ain't Cody Rhodes. We're not John Cena's. We're not Randy Orton's. We're the lesser guys. And for us to be in a high profile world championship match like that and put on the match we did, the boys and the girls in the back respected that because one of us made it. Um, and by meaning that is like you knew right off the hop, John Cena was being pushed to being a superstar right from the start of his run. Brock
Mhm.
Lesnar right from the start of his run. Shawn Michaels, pushed right off the hop. Damian Priest pushed right off. No, Gunther pushed right off the hop. No, they all worked for it, right? So one of them made it, and that's that. He said that there he couldn't be prouder to be part of a moment like that. And I agree. Gunther, while he's not going to be your flashy champion, he's a champion we all need, and that's because Gunther is so fucking good.
Yep.
He is the guy. He is so good. He personifies old school wrestling and old school heel. He is an old school heel. He's just that menacing, foreigner heel.
Yep.
He it's so good.
He
Gunther,
plays
this match of the night, hands down. Gunther
10.
deserves every second of this. Uh I I don't like I don't like interference finishes in a fucking title match. So, but the whole
9.
whole angle again, the angle's just stuck in my head because Dave Meltzer's in my fucking head. Yeah, he lives rent free. So 9.5, 9.5. The interference kind of ruined for me, but it made sense. That's why I'm not dropping it to a 9 because I wanted that interference to
Mhm.
happen because I've been calling that storyline for the last 3 years. It started 3 years ago. Liv and Finn infiltrated the Judgment Day, and they tore it down from the inside.
I hope they do maybe mention that through from 3 years ago. They probably won't, but if they do, that'd be sick. But yeah, I
Have you seen that clip yet? I've been
yeah,
trying to find. I can't find it.
we watched it. We watched
They're
it.
in the back in the hallway. Did we
Yep,
watch it? Yeah, where Finn, AJ Styles, and
AJ's
Liv
there.
Morgan were having yeah.
Yep,
Oof. 3 years ago,
3
it
years ago.
started and it finished.
But yeah, there was that, and I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It was good. I don't believe in tens unless they are the greatest thing I've ever seen. So
Yeah,
uh,
this was
that's where I'm at.
close because Damien and Gunther both became superstars in this match.
Up next, we had the attendance announcement from the Awesome Truth. 57,791 fans in attendance at Cleveland Browns Stadium.
That
They were
number's
interrupted.
inflated.
They were
They
interrupted.
had whole seats tarped off. That
Yeah,
stadium holds 73,000 people.
the A Town Down Under interrupts them to confront them to say Cleveland has the worst NFL team ever. That was actually accurate. Theory made fun of Jelly Roll's music for calling A Town Down Under. This was quoted by Archer's calling them the Rock and Roll Express. And Miz is
Yeah,
like,
that's Ricky
that's
Morton. That's
it's the other guy. And he's like, well, if that's not the Rock and Roll Express, then who's that? And Jelly Roll's there with a chair, attacks Theory and Waller, hits a beautiful choke slam because Austin Theory is potentially the greatest seller in WWE right now.
Austin Theory is a legend for selling, man.
Jumped a mile
He
high,
went
and
to that
then
Shawn Michaels school of
yeah,
selling.
and then the Awesome Truth and Jelly Roll hit the 5 knuckle shuffle on Austin Theory. This was just a Jelly Roll stealing the show, man. He was having fun out there, and that was cool to see.
At Jelly Roll, man. At Jelly Roll. I know that's not gonna do anything on because I'm saying it, but dude's a legend. Probably one of my honestly, I'm not even lying at this point. Probably one of my favorite celebrity spots in a show of in recent memory, at the very least,
My
because it was just
favorite
fun.
favorite part of the choke slam was when he's like looking around, he's kind of smiling, and then he just locks onto Theory with a serious look, like you're going up, and just whoop down. Yeah, no, that was fantastic. So I'll give that spot 10 out of 10 because it blew me. No, it was great. It was cool.
It was fun. That's one part. You mentioned it looked like Jelly Roll a little trouble getting up. I'm like, no, I think R Truth pushed him
He
over.
did. He did. I
Jelly
watched it
Roll was
back.
starting to get up, and R Truth went to go help him, and he kind of like bumped it, knocked Jelly Roll over.
Up next, let's talk about the entrance before the match. Cody Rhodes walking his dog Pharaoh for the final time on the road. Pharaoh's traveled with Cody all over the country, but Pharaoh is 13 years old, as Cody said, and it's time for him to stay home and be with. He said, "It's not really my dog anymore; it's my daughter's dog anyway." So Pharaoh is retiring. They have another dog called Yeti, and in the post press conference, he called Yeti a jobber. So he's like, I got another dog. He's kind of a jobber. So we'll see if he'll come on the road or not. And there was a picture posted by Brandy of Yeti the dog, and it was the caption was, "I'm not no jobber." And then people in the comments were, "You got to finish your story. Show him you're not a jobber, Yeti." So,
Oh, that's fun.
but
Yeah,
more
it's
than
awesome with
just
Pharaoh. Sad
yeah,
too, because I mean,
yeah,
I got dogs, and that shit's sad, man. When it gets to
yeah,
that age where you like, you
yeah.
know, their time is coming, and you're just like, I
And
don't want this to happen.
Cody says, I think he's still got a good years left in him, but when it's time to just like, you don't need to be running this schedule with me all the time. You need to be home. Another surprise, or in a surprise, Arn Anderson was backstage to meet with Cody, to wish him good luck. And Arn said he's got some influence backstage and stated that Cody still had friends and they will be on their way if need be tonight. Arn Anderson,
I mean, probably would have been better if Arn handed him the Glock, but I
I
mean,
think Cody mentioned that in the post press conference. He was like, they were like, "Hey, Arn Anderson." He's like, "Yeah, surprised he didn't hand me a gun." So that's Arn Anderson, legend.
but it was
Uh,
heartwarming nonetheless.
yeah,
Having
sure.
Arn there, but
But it is hilarious that the whole time both of us are thinking, when's he going to talk about shooting somebody? Like, come on, Arn, do the thing. That brings us to the undisputed WWE Championship Bloodline Rules match. Cody Rhodes, the champion, defending against Solo Sikoa.
oh, you
Of
missed the
course,
part where fucking what's his face gave Cody his mask.
Jason Baker. Jason Baker
Yeah,
gave Cody the mask that he created. he's you don't know, he's the creator of all hand in hand worked with Bray Wyatt to make all of the outfits for the Wyatts and stuff. And I'm sure, if I'm not wrong, he's probably still creating and doing the Wyatt Sixes stuff. I'm sure. So Jason Baker's fantastic. That's an artist right there. He is incredible. So we get to the match. Solo, Cody, stare down, of course, at the very start. And we go through all the build-ups, the close finishes, the back and forths. Pretty good match before all the it's a bloodline rules match. You know it's coming. Um, Cody, where we got? I gotta scroll through a little bit here. There it is. Cody hit a crossroads on Sokoa, and here, of course, come Tongaloa and Tama Tonga to attack Cody after he hit a crossroads. But Cody got back up. He fought through, and Kevin Owens made his return after being beat down weeks prior. Went after the Gorillas of Destiny, but he's not able to, of course, overcome the numbers game. But Randy Orton came out as well, making his return after being beat down. The numbers, of course, get a little bit too much. And so did Jacob? No, he didn't, did he? Oh, that's what it was. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Owens and Orton, they brawled with the Tongans,
Yeah.
and then they went out of the ring. So the match continued on, and then Jacob Fatu appeared, uh, doing Jacob Fatu things, hitting him with the moonsault and all the good stuff. Pulled Sikoa over for Cody to pick up, or for Solo to pick up the win, and Cody kicked out at 2. Fatu then goes out to the outside to hit him with a thrust kick before placing him on the broadcast table. He jumps, hitting a frog splash through the announce table, but he hit his leg. And I was reading reports that that was all okay. Y'all, I'll wait for the news. I can wait till the news.
We're just
Um,
reviewing what happened in the show. We're
yeah,
not
yeah,
talking about
yeah. Jacob hit a frog splash, and he
Jesus
was
Christ,
unable to
man.
stand up, barking orders. Solo, go finish him. He couldn't stand. He had hurt his leg. It looked like while landing through the announce
Fucking
table.
that
He
looked
did it.
nasty, man.
It did.
That bump. I mean, the way his leg hit, I was legit worried, and am still actually kind of worried because there's only rumors. But nonetheless,
Right.
that looked fuck up, and he was in a walking boot after the show. So like, it's hard to say, but man, that
Yep.
that
So
nasty.
he gets in the
Loses
ring.
his shit afterwards too. Loses his
Yeah.
shit afterwards.
Solo picked up Cody for the Samoan spike. Cody collapsed, but it was all part of the plan as he hit him with a thrust kick and then a Cody cutter, and they were 1-2 kick out, and it was nothing. And then all of a sudden, it was the return of the tribal chief, the OTC, the original tribal chief, the only tribal chief, whatever you want to call it. Roman Reigns returns. Commentary was putting over, oh, who's he after? He's after the man that beat him at WrestleMania. No, he's after the man that thinks he's the tribal chief. Slides into the ring, Superman punch, spear, crowd going crazy for the return of Roman Reigns. Cody picked up Sokoa, hit one more crossroads, 1, 2, 3, retains the title. The odds were, of course, against Cody, but he stood tall with the help of Roman Reigns. And there was the stare down of, you couldn't tell if it was. I do want to point out, after Roman did his part and Cody went for the crossroads, he never took his eyes off of Roman Reigns. Hit the crossroads, pinned Solo 1, 2, 3 while staring at Roman the whole time. You know, it's Roman maybe just did that as a I got business to handle, but I'm still coming for you. And we have SmackDown to watch tomorrow. Roman Reigns will be on SmackDown, and we will know what's in his head and who's going to be with him. I hope Paul Heyman's back, or he could still be dead. I don't know. But yeah, what did you think of the match and the return of the Tribal Chief?
There's no way that Roman Reigns is letting Cody off the hook here in the end of
Yeah,
this.
you
It's
would think.
he's got other shit to deal with. He comes out with the OTC shirt, the only tribal chief, the original tribal chief, however you want to look at it. That is, he comes out. His music's slightly different. You know,
Well,
I
it's
don't know if you picked up on that, but it's slightly different.
I think it was his
Um,
WrestleMania theme esque, wasn't it? It's a little
yeah, but you
special.
know, just show little subtle hints that hey, I'm different. Place goes absolutely BANANAS.
It's
Is that too many
bananas.
N's? Is that
B
too many N's?
B hold on. It's
BANANAS.
bananas. B A
BANANAS.
BANANAS. That
Yes.
shit's
Banana.
bananas. Yep, that's it.
Anyways, absolutely fucking bananas. That crowd flew the non-existent roof off that stadium.
Yep.
Um, absolutely nuts.
Biggest
Roman's full.
ooh-ah for the
Oh,
spear.
dude, that was
Oh,
Roman's. Roman has had a whirlwind career. You want to talk about Cody being undesirable to undeniable? What about Roman? Nobody wanted Roman
forced
10 years ago.
because he was force
Now,
fed. You know, it was a force
now
feeding,
he is
and
the
you didn't
most
watch.
over. No, I could
You
care
weren't
less to watch
watching.
during that
You weren't
time.
watching the period of. You probably saw it in whatever, but the period of force fed down our throats. Roman Reigns is the big dog. He is the face of the company. We didn't want that. The fans didn't want that. Why are you trying to force this onto us? And to see where we are now, all it was from that moment when he did. By the way, he did make his return post being forced down our throats as a heel at SummerSlam. It was COVID SummerSlam, but
It
nonetheless,
was nonetheless, it's organic now. He is the biggest thing in
oh
WWE. SmackDown's gonna be sold out as it has been, anyways. But now it's definitely gonna be sold out. It's probably gonna be extra tickets opened up for standing room only. They're gonna get as many people as they can into wherever the hell they are tomorrow, and it's gonna be loud. He's gonna come out, and that place is gonna fucking pop. And it's been reported that Jay and Sammy have been able to show up at SmackDown tomorrow. And Jay has recently said that Jimmy is very close to returning. So we are gonna get. I think tomorrow's shit is gonna fucking pop off. We're gonna get a full preview of what's to come for the next three months. I think
yep,
until Survivor Series in Vancouver, which when tickets go on sale, I am getting.
yes,
Um,
as you should.
Nonetheless, we're here, man. We are here. It happened. Roman's back. Everything that happened in the show, I wanted to happen, and it happened exactly as I hoped it to happen, and that made it one of the best pay per views of the year of all companies next to WrestleMania.
Uh-huh.
Um, if anything, I probably enjoyed this a little bit more than WrestleMania.
That's some people's sentiments. Some people have felt that way. Me personally, I can't. I just can't because
Yeah,
that
I
main
know, because
event.
you were a Cody crybaby, and you got your story finished. I get it. I understand. It's cool, but
Yeah, I wasn't talking about that, but I was just talking about the craziness that we ensued in that
no,
main
no.
event match with the returns.
I still said what I said. You
But
were a
you're
Cody
not wrong though.
crybaby. He's gotta
Finish.
finish his story. He's
He did,
gotta finish it.
and
Anyways,
guess what? He fucking did. Cry about it.
yeah, and
Cry
he's
about it.
become one of the most boring champions in the history of the
Okay. Okay. You don't even mean
I'm
that.
kidding. Cody's legit, man. I love Cody.
What would you give the main event out of 10?
It wasn't on the Gunther Damien level,
Agreed.
not by any means.
Agreed. Agreed.
The shenanigans happened as they were expected. The return was cool and everything, but quality of match, put everything together. I give this an 8. I give this one an 8. No, no, I didn't like it
I
that
gave
much.
it an 8. I gave it an 8.
I didn't like it this much. I give it a 7. I didn't like it that much.
I gave it an 8 because I gave Gunther and Damien a 9, and it was not better than Gunther Damien. Gunther Damien, as you said, was match of the night. But yeah, there's it. That's SummerSlam. If you haven't watched SummerSlam, do go to Peacock or wherever
And
you can watch
honestly,
it.
I think I because Solo ain't that great of a wrestler.
No, Solo has done his job though. He has
He's
made the
done his
fans
job to
want
a T, but if
Roman.
we're talking about wrestling in this match, Solo is
No,
not the guy.
no.
So that
It
took
actually
away
may have
from it.
been
Cody,
it. It may have been his best match though. He had a couple. I don't watch much Solo single matches, but this one may have been his best. So there was that, and that was
it was an
SummerSlam.
Angles match. It was an Angles match.
If you haven't watched SummerSlam, go find it on Peacock or
Great
WWE
pay per
Network.
view. If you haven't watched it, watch it. You won't be disappointed. You'll be entertained for the full 4 hours. It won't feel like 4 hours.
Mhm.
Everything, it was phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. I had to literally turn my phone off of all receiving
You did.
data because Kurt was at the racetrack, and I'm just like, dude, get the fuck home. I need to watch SummerSlam. And we were up until 2:30,
Or
3 o'clock. No, like my time, it was like 2 in the morning.
so it was
You were
5
up till
my
like
time.
6.
Yeah, five
Yeah.
six.
But
I
anyways,
slept for a
nonetheless,
couple hours, but yeah, no, it was good.
it
Great
was
show.
great show. If you haven't
Peacock's
watched it, watch it. It's one of the best pay-per-views of the year across all the companies.
Peacock sucks at uploading their pay-per-views after they've ended. So had to wait forever for
Don't worry,
that. But
I got Netflix happening in 5 months.
cannot wait for that one. All right, with that being said, it's time for our case favorite segment. It is the news, the rumors, and innuendo. What do you got for me this week? This is episode, of course, 17, August 2nd through the 8th. 189,000. They should have gone head to head with SummerSlam in their normal time slot. That, of course, is a shot at AEW's Collision, drawing 189,000 fans. They went on during the pre-show for was it? Yeah, it was the pre-show, right? The
It
pre-show
was the pre-show.
for
The
SummerSlam
pre-show.
kickoff.
The pre-show. 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. Dave Meltzer went on to say when WWE Raw and NXT were going to Sci-Fi for 2 weeks, they were plugging it heavy on their shows. AEW didn't do that at all.
Yep.
I guess AEW has to hand feed their fans to tell them what time to watch the show at because apparently they can't read anything. Because I knew about it and I don't even watch AEW other than once a week, and I knew they were going to a 2 o'clock time slot. So
Yep.
that's a poor excuse because I figured it out and I don't even like the fucking show.
CM Punk has been suspended due to backstage altercation involving MJF, Will Ospreay, and a girlfriend.
I'm glad you read that
Uh,
as CM Punk. I'm so
I,
happy you read that as CM Punk.
oh my god,
I'm
I
so
didn't.
happy you read that
I
as
did.
CM Punk.
Let me reread it because I was wrong. But CM Baker suspended due to backstage altercation involving MJF, Will Ospreay, and a girlfriend. This, of course, is a play on the CM Punk being toxic and Britt Baker actually having an altercation with MJF and MJF's girlfriend Alicia Atut, involving Will Ospreay as well. We'll get into, I think, probably a little bit of it here in just a second. But yeah, Britt Baker had a little issue, and MJF had an issue with it, and Britt got suspended. So there's that, and MJF got nothing. I don't, whatever. You're taking the word.
It was reported why, but I'll get to it.
And then Odyssey Jones has debuted on Raw. I'll read the rest of the headline, but for those that don't know who Odyssey Jones is, he has been drafted in the past 2 WWE draft cycles and has yet to make an appearance until this Monday night. And we'll get to that in a second. But he debuted garnering 8+ million views in 24 hours. That was more than Mercedes. Never mind. But you know, you get it. Really went that way with the news, didn't you? But
Yeah.
hey, tell him when he's telling lies, and RK doesn't tell lies. And he's got the news now. RK, what do you got?
Yeah. It's been a slow summer for news. Not really a whole lot happening. But this week I'm more prepared because actually
a beefy 5-layer burrito, a chalupa.
Oh,
I can't believe you just put that in the middle of my promo.
shit, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. That's wow. I don't even know where that came from. How did that happen?
In the middle of my promo. That's
Sorry.
great. We're gonna get copyright claimed again.
I
But
kind of want
nonetheless,
Taco Bell for that. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Wow.
in the middle of my promo, mid promo, just
Fucking
cut me off. Okay, cool.
computer's acting up.
Okada must be at the controls.
What do you got this week?
Logan Paul doing what Logan Paul does best. I'm not going to get into it because honestly, I think his comments are absolutely disgusting and
He didn't do his
not
research.
needed.
Do your
You really
research.
should. If you're gonna fucking put shit on Twitter, you better do your research. But nonetheless, I'm not going to get into it.
Logan Paul.
We ain't here for that shit. We're not. I don't give a fuck. But WWE PR approached him about what he had posted, and apparently he threw a temper tantrum about being approached by PR. Logan Paul has come out and said those rumors are not true. He did not throw no temper tantrum. Nonetheless, Logan Paul has just got to be. He's he does some questionable shit, man.
He should be suspended, right? He should be released. People have been released for. Calm down, AW. Calm down.
Yeah,
Your marks.
calm down.
Please.
He said something stupid. He backtracked on it. As a lot, and you know what? He's not the only one who said what he said. A lot of people said it. They got all sucked into that one fucking post about it, and everybody read it as the truth, not doing any research of their own.
Took was 2 seconds to Google the situation, and you would have figured out the truth.
Nonetheless, Logan
bet she does
Paul
hit
in some
hard though.
heat. There is rumors that WWE changed their plans. I don't think anybody can believe that. LA Knight was the only choice to win that match, period, at that point in the story. Nonetheless, anyways, we're done with that.
Yes.
Logan Paul, everybody says stupid shit. He backtracked. He apologized for saying it. Move on.
That's not good enough though.
No, whatever. He fuck off. It's good enough. He apologized. He wasn't the only one who did it. When I first read it, I was like, that's fucking. Oh wait, shit, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I did the exact same
So,
thing. I was like, what are we talking about here? And then figured out the answers.
yeah.
And then you realize that person in question also has lost some fights in the past. So what are we worried about?
Yeah.
Besides
Anyways,
the point. Carry on.
doesn't even matter. We're not here to talk about that. I'm just reading the news that is out there. Anyways, Wrestling Observer Dave Meltzer said Shane McMahon has looked back. Oh, I can't read my own writing. Wrestling Observer Dave Meltzer said Shane McMahon has looked to get back in WWE for some time now, but the people in charge at WWE have no interest, which is kind of wild, but nonetheless. Meltzer speculates that maybe Shane hopes they will change their minds in thinking that he's going to go to AEW. I mean, Shane's a smart guy. I mean, he's run businesses. He's got his own angles. He's been around the industry forever. It's not too far of a fetch to speculate that's maybe what Shane's trying to do. But like, hey, I'll go to AEW if you guys don't let me back in.
Basically.
So I mean, that's not too far of a stretch for Meltzer to speculate that. I think a lot of people are speculating that. Hell, even I'm speculating at moments. Like, actually, that makes sense. It is something that Shane would probably pull to try to get him back in WWE. We'll see where it goes. If Shane shows up on AEW, wow, that'll be kind of. I'll tune into that episode because I want to see what the fuck he'd have to say. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. The whole thing is kind of crazy. You know, Shane, he's up.
Here we go. Money talk.
With the Taco Bell thing, anyway. So whatever. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, no, I want to see where it goes. I'm interested as fuck. If this is anything, does anything for Shane other than garner some interest in his name, it's crazy. And as before he cut me off with that music, I was gonna say it's kind of wild to think of a McMahon showing up anywhere but WWE.
It's kind of wild that AEW would take a chance on the name.
I don't think the name's an issue.
I would hope
if it starts with a VINCE, it becomes an issue.
Yeah, that's not happening. But yeah, I agree.
You hear what Russo had to say about the whole thing?
No.
He's like, if Shane shows up in AEW, you're going to hear within 6 months that Vince has bought the company.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's not happening. That's not going to happen. Imagine though.
No, I can't.
It's hard to imagine. I don't see it happening. No. But yeah, I'd probably have some
AEW.
interest.
How can we fully bury ourselves?
I'd have a little interest in Shane showing up and seeing what he has to say. It'd be very similar.
I'm just be curious as how what he would say.
It'd be very similar to Punk coming back a little bit, but it's not the same.
Not similar at all. This is the son of a man who made wrestling what it is today.
Yeah, but what I meant by that is I would tune in and then eventually I'd just tune it back out because I would.
Oh, I could really care less
That's
about
what
happened afterwards. I just want to see the first show. It's
Yes.
why I watched AEW of my own accord before you ever told me about watching that shit show. Why I tuned in for a couple episodes and then I got bored of it because I was like, this ain't that good.
Nope.
I'm sorry. I keep saying it's a shit show. It's not. Tonight was really bad, but they have so much good talent and it pisses me off.
Yes, I agreed.
The exclusive negotiating window between AEW and WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, is now closed, according to Fightful sources at Warner Brothers. Man, these guys have sources everywhere. It's kind of weird, ain't it? But get this: the Savannah Bananas get a 5-week deal to air games every Friday for the rest of the summer.
On what?
On TNT.
That's hilarious. They're a big deal, though, man.
They are a big deal. A bigger deal than AEW?
It shouldn't be. They shouldn't be, but they are.
They can get a 5-week contract. AEW can't get anybody.
I need those. I need those ratings. Oh God, I need those ratings. Fucking hell, that would be.
They'll be posted. They have to be. It's a public company.
Oh my God.
They'll be posted somewhere.
I forgot to pull up the ratings that I normally pull up, but I'm doing that right now.
Brian Alvarez was thoroughly shocked when he when Survivor Series was announced for Vancouver, Canada, at Rogers Arena. He thought for sure it was going to be held in LA. No, you're wrong, Brian Alvarez. As per usual, you goofy fuck.
You good?
Brian Alvarez might be a dumber idiot than Dave Meltzer. It's actually, I think it's possible.
He thought that the cookout that Cody was invited to by Trick Williams was a special event for NXT fans. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. That dude is uncultured as hell. If you don't know what the cookout is, maybe you should just fucking get familiar with life. Jesus Christ.
I didn't know what a cookout was, but in my defense, I live in Canada and there's a lot of white people up here.
Totally. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Where I grew up, I knew exactly what the cookout was, and I knew exactly what Trick was talking about. And I'm like, oh, Cody's got it. Cody's got the pass.
But I would not go online and go, "Hey, check out NXT this week for the cookout."
NXT special event, the cookout. Okay.
Oh god.
They could have pulled that off though.
We're gonna get ourselves in canceled off this.
They could have pulled that off though and done an NXT special event and call it the cookout and have Cookout sponsor it. It's a southern chain. It's a southern restaurant chain, which is fantastic food, by the way. If you've never had Cookout,
made Brian Alvarez look smart. No.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, carry on. Duh.
Sean was like, "Hey, that's not a bad Brian Al. No, we can't do that. We can't.
Oh yeah, I can't do that. Sorry.
No, I can't do that." Okay, so this is where I cut you off. I don't know why, it doesn't really matter. But Jacob Fatu, his injury has been reported to be a work from the very second it was planned. They don't want him to face off or even be in the vicinity of Roman Reigns yet, which makes sense because Roman versus Jacob is probably the biggest possible thing to happen out of this whole thing, honestly. Cody and Roman has happened already. Like, we want the big dog against the big dog. The junkyard dog?
He's the wolf. He's a Samoan werewolf.
We want the big dog versus the big
Samoan werewolf.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Dog versus wolf. They're of the same bloodline. Anyways, nonetheless, we want that. I want that. You want that?
I really do want that.
Okay. So anyways, the whole thing is they got to keep them apart, and this actually makes sense. If he sells the injury for maybe 6 weeks, let Roman do his thing for a bit, and then they can build Jacob.
What was it talked about? I think we talked about it was Solo versus Roman. You're in your head. You're like, yeah, Roman's going to run through Solo. Roman versus Jacob Fatu, it's a lot more compelling. So, yeah, I agree. Keep them away from each other for a while. Let him nurse the injury if it's fake or real, whatever.
CM Punk and Drew are being planned for Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. Has been reported by multiple sources. That is the plan. Me and Kurt originally said, end the feud at SummerSlam, get the Seth thing rolling, but this actually makes way more sense. We didn't get a proper finish to the feud at SummerSlam, so in a Hell in a Cell, you have to get a proper finish, and that's why I would say no to your triple threat match, because then we're just back into fucking round square 0. That's 100. It needs to finish. You need a proper finish to the story. Come on, this ain't AEW here. Okay.
We got news this week.
Yeah, we do a little bit. I was actually prepared this week. I wasn't just scrolling. No, that's fucking garbage. That's garbage. I actually went through all my sites and sources, made some phone calls.
Actually made sense. Nice.
Yeah. This is going to be the thing where MJF was not suspended for the altercation. So the whole thing broke down. Britt Baker said some shit about MJF's girlfriend. I don't remember her name. Alicia Toot.
I thought she said stuff about MJF and Alicia.
So
Toot
Alicia,
over,
can you just Alicia Toot?
Yes.
So she said some shit about MJF, doing, taking all the limelight, something along those lines. I mean, it's a he said she said situation, really. Alicia Toot then went to MJF, told him that MJF confronted Britt. They got into an argument about it, got heated. Will Ospreay stepped in to try to break it up. MJF took off, punched the wall. You see him with back knee this week. I don't know what's going on there, but nonetheless, Britt Baker was suspended for 2 weeks for that altercation. MJF was not, and the reasoning given behind that is MJF was just reacting to the situation where Britt was apparently the one causing all these drama. that was the official release on why MJF wasn't
She's
suspended.
tired and she works with fucking children.
I mean, I don't know if the Adam Cole Breaker rumors are true, but I mean,
I hope not, man.
Papa Sean and Papa Trips will take both y'all back, or one of you back and one of you in.
The Adam Cole Britt split rumors. There's been no confirmation on from either. That'd be
I haven't
tough.
seen anything new.
That's a cool wrestling couple right there. The way they,
But nonetheless,
but yes,
MJF was reacting. But I mean,
home.
his girlfriend told him the rumors, and he went and confronted Britt. So was Britt not just reacting to him confronting? So he said, she said. So we weren't there. We don't know. Will Ospreay does actually seem like a pretty chill guy, and probably was a guy. Like, hey guys, come on, break it up.
Hey,
Love, bro, break it up. It's cool. It's
everybody love everybody. Everybody love everybody.
Anyways, nonetheless, that was the reason that I read from a statement on why MJF wasn't suspended during this. Honestly, you should have suspended all parties involved. Hey,
that's where I was at with it.
This shit can't happen. You're all suspended. Figure it out.
Right.
Tony, got to control your locker room. This shit shouldn't even be happening. If it is happening, it shouldn't be leaking to the press that this shit's happening. And also, if you're suspending people, you should be suspending everybody involved. You're picking sides at this point. So, I'm only saying that because how often do we hear of legit backstage altercations in WWE over the last few years? Like legit guys getting into it. How often do we hear about it?
It happens all the time.
Do we hear about it though?
From WWE?
Yeah.
No.
No, because they keep their shit internal and they figure it out.
Yep. And then everything just seems to get leaked when it comes to AEW. It's either it's like it's done on purpose at this point.
It's almost like they have dirt sheet guys on their payroll.
It's almost like they just don't run a fucking tight ship as they should for a professional wrestling company.
That shit shouldn't leak out. Backstage altercations should not leak out. AEW has had multiple in the last year and a half. I have not heard of any major backstage altercation leading to suspensions in WWE that I can think of on the top of my head.
Yeah, I just thought for a second I got nothing for you.
So, yeah, there. Figure it out. NXT's first shows on the CW will be held in Chicago on October 1st and in St. Louis on October 7th. CM Punk has confirmed for the Chicago show, and Randy Orton sent out a tweet saying, "Hey, Sean, I heard you're coming to my backyard. Mind if I drop by?"
Confirmed. Those are their local towns, and they're going to be there promoting with NXT.
So going further with that, that's what CW has asked for. They've asked for, some on the road shows, some bigger shows. It's still being planned that a lot of their shows will be held from the Performance Center, with certain shows being booked at out of town arenas. So, like
cool.
The Great American Bash, 2 weeks thing, should be held in bigger arenas, don't you think?
Could have been, should have been.
Yeah,
but
NXT Spring Breaking probably should have been held in bigger arenas, right?
I agree. They could literally do
things like that.
Yeah, they could do probably the same arenas that AEW is doing for Collision.
I don't know if you've seen people in them.
Well, have you seen this? Like the way they set up Collision nowadays is pretty it works because it's a smaller looking venue and the crowd looks bigger. And it works. It looks good on TV.
Come to a place like Kelowna. We have an arena that sits like 7,000 people. I guarantee you we're going to put some butts in the seats. I'm going to speaking of which, I might not be able to watch SmackDown tomorrow. I might go to Penticton tomorrow to watch tomorrow night's episode of Thrash Wrestling.
Well, I got to work.
Saturday night, I'm definitely going to Thrash Wrestling here in Kelowna, but it's a local West Canada wrestling promotion. They put on indie shows. I go check it out. It's fun. I have no idea what's going on half the time. So I'm a wrestling fan, though. I know who's the heel and I know who's the face. So I boo the face and cheer the heel.
There it is. That's how you do it right there. That is the correct way to go about it. I have to work at the racetrack tomorrow, so we'll see if it times out where you get home and I get home. We can sit down and watch SmackDown.
Well, Penticton's like an hour away, so I might go check out the show tonight. But I'm definitely checking out Saturday night's show. Anybody watching us who's in the Okanagan area, awesome. First off, second off, come check out Thrash Wrestling. It's a fun time. It's a good time. Becky Lynch recently posted on Instagram hinting at retirement with how she said it. Fightful sources say that WWE has not been informed of any retirement plans regarding Becky Lynch. Not that she would have to because she's not under contract right now, but I think as a professional obligation or personal obligation, she would tell them. I don't know. Either or, nothing has been confirmed. She just posted a thing on Instagram. Honestly, I think she's going to AEW because if you read the Instagram post, you can find the letters A, E, and W in there. So it's all but confirmed that she's going to show up on AEW.
That's what I heard too. That's from
Like,
internet told me that one.
yeah.
Or from what my understanding was with Becky Lynch is that she was taking time off and they're respecting and letting her enjoy her time off, and that when the time was right and she's ready to get back in the fold, that WWE would be the place where she'll be at. So Becky Lynch
She ain't
isn't
going to
going
AEW, people.
She's not fucking
She
going to
shows
AEW.
up on AEW.
I'll stop watching wrestling.
I won't know what to do with my life. I really wouldn't. It'd be the weirdest fucking thing in the world. And honestly, why would she show up there? I mean, unless she doesn't want to wrestle ever. I mean, probably the place to go. A lot of the women talent there don't wrestle.
She'll wrestle for like 3 weeks, get a pay-per-view match, and then disappear into the fold on Rampage.
She'd probably get buried by Mercedes, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Creative control, baby.
Ricky Starks, Penta L0. I don't have a light on in this. That's wild. I just realized that. I've been sitting in the dark this whole time. As all of you guys, all our fans have watched, we got our pack. Can you put me full screen there? Yeah. Oh no, full screen. There you go. The white below the socks there, you can see Penta back there, signed 8x10. Everybody got a Pro Wrestling Crate, got one of those bad boys. Actually, I was really stoked about that, along with the Mandy Rose one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, sorry, not Mandy Rose. Dana Brooke. Mandy Rose would be actually kind of cool, but she's not a wrestler anymore. Where was I going? Anyways, Ricky Starks, Penta L0, and Ray Phoenix all have contracts expiring in the next couple months.
You missed one name in that group. Daniel Garcia as well.
Yeah, he's definitely re-signing with AEW. Nobody else is going to push Daniel Garcia like Tony Khan will.
Just help it out.
Anyways, unless Ricky Starks is very strongly rumored to be going to WWE because he's good friends with Cody Rhodes. And Penta, L0, and Ray Phoenix have already have contracts on the table. They said this themselves, on the table, offered that matches what AEW has offered them for the next contract.
I was going to add to that as well, that the reports were that AEW was wanting to get the deal done and they want to re-sign him, but it kept getting delayed because of the Lucha Bros. And this is what it says on Fightful. Over the past few weeks, it became evident to AEW that the duo weren't looking to re-sign, capped off by an ominous tweet from Conan saying, "What goes around comes around too." So that was that. And then Ibo of Wrestle Purist saying that they're expected to go to WWE, but they don't want to go to NXT. I think they'd be okay not going to NXT.
They're big enough. Big enough. They could show up on the main roster. Hey, at that point in your career when you're that established and you make contract talks with other companies, and hey, we'll sign, but we're not going to NXT. That's up to the WWE. That's up to Trips going, hey, yeah, we want you on the main roster. Come on over. Or, no, we want to start you in NXT. Sorry. It's business. It's business. And it's all what's going to work for WWE and what they want. But from the sounds of it looks like, they're leaning that way. Ricky Starks is almost a guarantee at this point.
He's made for WWE, to be honest, the way he carries in his promos. Before you carry on with your news, because I never want to cut off your news, but I do want to clarify just in case I have stuff that you don't. Do you have any TNA news you're getting into or no?
Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander back in May was originally slated to win the title. They swerved and gave it to Nick Nemeth. Now that Nick Nemeth has the title still? Yeah, he does. Has the title. There's talks that Josh Alexander is still in the picture for that, but there's also talks that Josh Alexander is going to start showing up on NXT as well now.
Yep,
so
that's part of the TNA WWE crossover.
So we'll see where Josh Alexander is a fantastic wrestler. If you haven't seen his shit, check out some of his highlights. He is a
His
phenomenal wrestler.
match with Will Ospreay is a must watch.
So good, so good.
The only TNA
This was back when Will Ospreay was still doing interesting shit and not just the same shit every day.
The only TNA I had news was that one of their big pay-per-views, Bound for Glory, the location has been revealed, and they're going to go back to Michigan for the first time in years. That it was going to be held in one of the most visited cities in the world. Bound for Glory, I think, is their biggest pay-per-view they put on. Their Slammiversary.
No idea.
I'm pretty sure Bound for Glory is the big one. Bound for Glory hasn't been in Michigan since 2006. So that's cool. It's a cool little tidbit. But Bound for Glory, I'm pretty sure, is their main pay-per-view that they've held for years. Obviously, with it being 2006, the last time they were in Michigan for it. I think it's Bound for Glory, and then the one we just watched, which we actually didn't finish or watch.
You gotta watch that.
Slammiversary. And the rumor is they closed in on Detroit, and that next year in 2025 they will be looking to take it potentially to the UK. So shout out to TNA. They're doing good. Maybe we should watch TNA.
I mean, if we're gonna stop watching, we're actually let's just get it over with now. I think we're actually gonna move to just watching AEW pay-per-views for now. You were done with AEW last week. I'm kind of done after tonight. I thought I'd give them one more week. Outside of the opening match and the promo at the end, that show was horrible. We'll talk about it more between us, but we might just go to watching the pay-per-views, and honestly, we won't miss much because they ain't telling a story. So, let's watch pay-per-view where we're guaranteed banner matches and having a good time watching the matches, but we don't have to wade through all, like, how much stuff do we realistically actually miss not watching Rampage and Collision? So how much stuff do you think we're going to actually miss not watching Dynamite? I get all the important notes about Dynamite on TikTok and Instagram.
Exactly. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
But maybe we switch over to TNA and then we record on Thursday nights.
We were already
because Joe Hendry is facing off against Wolfgang tonight.
We always record on Thursday nights.
I know, but I'm saying watch TNA and then record.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you.
Maybe, I don't know.
We'll see. What else?
Last news piece here. Actually, I got a couple actually other ones as well. But anyways, nonetheless, early talks, or they're more further along than I thought. I don't know. I've heard a lot about it in the last couple of days. About a movie involving the Hulk Hogan versus Gawker court case back in 2014. Anybody doesn't know anything about that? I searched it up because I had no clue about it. Gawker Media was a website. They posted a sex tape of Hulk Hogan and honestly, I can't remember who now. Anyways, nonetheless, Hogan sued them, ended up winning $115 million from them. So far slated early rumors. I don't know if any of this is true or not, but Ben Affleck to play Hulk Hogan, kind of wild. And Matt Damon to play Peter Thiel, who was a media mogul, who bankrolled Hulk Hogan to fight Gawker in this legal battle.
Interesting. Ben Affleck as Hulk Hogan's interesting.
That is interesting. Interesting.
That's Batman.
Are we gonna get like a shaved head with the long white hair? Like that's gonna be kind of wild seeing Ben Affleck like that.
The stash,
with the handlebar mustache.
I can't picture Ben Affleck that way. I'm sorry. That's a tough picture. That's a tough picture right there. But yeah, I'll watch it if they do it. I'll definitely give it a watch. I think I heard that potentially it's the Damon and Affleck's studio that's going to do it.
I would imagine since they're in the movie,
so it makes sense. And their studio is fairly new, from what I understand. That their joint studio that they created. But nonetheless, yeah, I'll give it a watch. Of course,
I definitely watch it.
What else we working on?
Oh God. Dave Meltzer. Good old Dave Meltzer. He has compared the G1 Climax match between El Phantasmo and AEW's Kensuke Takeshita to WWE SummerSlam and this week's Raw, saying the match has made him realize he overrates WWE something fierce. I already touched on this earlier, but I'm going actually through the actual thing he wrote. I'll tell you, when I watched that match, like, they're just on a different level. I was like, when I was thinking about how good Monday's show was Raw, and it was a good angle show. I've been pitching the angle all news because it's all about the angles and SummerSlam because I'm just if you don't understand my humor, I find it funny that I'm just constantly saying something that pisses me off. Anyways, nonetheless,
That's how it
I
works.
think I think I'm hilarious. Anyways, and it was a good angle show, and some of the matches were good, and some of the matches at SummerSlam are good. Then I watched that match, Takeshita versus El Phantasmo, and it's like, man, I overrate WWE something fierce because compared to this, they're not even in the same. They're not even the same thing. These guys are so incredible.
Spit that thing out, Dave. Spit that thing out. I'm sorry. It's just the way he puts over anything that isn't WWE is just like Dave Hawktua Meltzer over here. Like Jesus Christ. I hate hearing from him. I really do. That's all I got on that.
Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, we're still going.
Collision did 189,000 fans, viewers, 0.08 out of its time slot on Saturday. Likely would have done better even head to head with SummerSlam in its usual time slot. Also compare how hard WWE pushed the move to sci-fi on the show compared to AEW pushing the Collision time slot change. I already touched on it. I'm not getting anymore. I'm just reading the actual things that come out of. I think I'm just gonna have a corner. I'm gonna make a new graphic saying Dave Meltzer's corner, and it's just all the dumb shit that he says. Odyssey Jones main page there, 8 million views in the first 24 hours. Okada had 4.5 million views total, 6 million views from Mercedes total. Ospreay's debut had 4 million views total. Odyssey Jones has outdrawn the big three AEW signings.
Mm-hmm.
Odyssey fucking Jones.
Legend.
Oh yeah, Buddy Matthews. We touched on it last week. He signed that new
Yes.
contract. Fucking absolutely like just all about the money. Doesn't even think the fact that he's still not on TV. Shocking. And he posted on Twitter, TK, can I help mommy real quick after SummerSlam? It's just like, dude, you literally could have had a job back there instantly. It would have been a
Guaranteed.
guaranteed thing. Like, hypothetically, I'm dating Rhea Ripley. I'm not even a wrestler. Rhea goes to Tripp, say, hey, my boyfriend wants me to become a wrestler. Tripp's like, for you? Absolutely. We'll train him. No problem. It's
We're
that
sending him to
easy.
NXT. We're sending him to NXT. Rhea, that's what you want? For sure. Yeah, he could have got a
Like,
job back.
he could have instantly. Right now, Rhea is WWE's cash cow. They will do anything she wants.
Yep.
It's simple business. She draws huge. She is making you money. She says something, you're probably going to listen to it. And that's
Agreed.
all I got.
I got one that broke about 10 hours ago. Maybe this didn't cross your feeds. Don't know if it did. But this individual has finally tweeted something ever since his release from TNA, and that would be Scott D'Amore.
I have not said anything about this.
Scott D'Amore from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Well, Scott D'Amore is back on Twitter, and he has tweeted, "We're fucking back." He has purchased and reviving Maple Leaf Wrestling.
I talked about this like fucking like 10 episodes ago.
Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling is what has been renamed, and Scott D'Amore is the leading man for Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling back in Canada.
I
They
broke
will
this
be
news like 10 episodes ago. I'm just that good.
History meets the future with MLP, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Forged in Excellence this October. They have a couple stars announced for it, like Raj Deji, former Jinder Mahal, as well
You're pumped about
as
they're gonna have a Punjabi prison match.
yeah, confirmed for the event, Raz Deji, two-time TNA World Champion Josh Alexander, Knockout Giselle Shaw, New Japan's Kushida, Alex Zane, Kevin Knight, Jake Something, plus indie stars Kylie Ray and Trevor Lee, formerly Cameron Grimes, and much, much more. Both nights of Maple Leaf Pro Forged in Excellence will stream on Thriller TV.
Cool.
And I don't know much. Obviously, you would know more about Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, Maple Leaf Wrestling than me, but it just has that. And oh yeah, Scott D'Amore is the pro. He is the president of this. Legends like Luther as Bruno Sammartino, Ric Flair, Andre the Giant, Rowdy Piper all competed in Maple Leaf. Now we're bringing this legacy back with modern day wrestling. So yeah, and tickets go on sale August 26th for that show in October. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Scott D'Amore back at it. The former.
Makes you wonder what happened in TNA.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but he's fantastic, and I hope this works.
I'm here for it. If it's Maple Leaf Wrestling, a Canadian-based wrestling promotion, I'm going to get a lot of bigger shows over on the West Coast here.
Yeah, hope so. But yeah, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling is back. It was called Maple Leaf Wrestling. Scott D'Amore's in charge. The quote was, "History meets the future with MLP forged in excellence this October."
Yes.
Other than that, I don't really have anything. We'll get into NXT, but we still haven't got the debuts of Stephanie Vacour or Julia yet. Waiting on that one. Those have got to be coming soon, right?
Stephanie before Julia.
Yeah, Stephanie's not hurt. But yeah, other than that, we talked, I think, about the unprecedented agreement between TNA and
God
WWE.
forbid you debut a woman of the caliber of Stephanie Vacour and not have a story ready for her until 3 months later, because that would just be stupid to do, right?
I mean, there's a slight possibility that WWE has got her training and working on the way they want her to do things. She's from the Indies. She hasn't done what WWE has
Did that
done.
just go over your?
No, I know what they're doing. I know what you're talking. You're taking a shot at AEW. I totally got that one. The CEO.
Okay.
I get it.
Got it.
But I was just thinking in my head, maybe there is the chance that they're just prepping Stephanie Vacour for what they want from her in NXT. Simple as that. And with that being said, she'll
100%.
probably show up next. She'll probably show up next Wednesday.
They're not just gonna throw her in there and not have anything for her to do.
You would
So
think
they got to figure
not.
it out. They got to figure out where she fits in, get a story written, go over it with all, make it, good. Not
Agreed.
what are we doing?
With that being said, it is time to talk about SmackDown. So yeah, SmackDown.
Hey,
Hey, how you
got a
doing?
bone to pick with you.
Yep, go for it.
You didn't say anything about the opening video.
Oh, I watched it. They watched it. They know what you did.
Anyways, speaking of which, I got to make a whole new video anyways because so many title changes.
Well, you did. I forget that you can't see. I don't know. Can you at the bottom of the screen? Me and you.
Yep.
You can't see that part. So I have the ability to see like the green room to see what to play, like our cameras and stuff. If you would have saw my reaction when the video was playing, you would have known that you got what you deserved, because I laughed. I was like, oh fuck, he did it. That was the empty seats representing AEW, for those that didn't get it, but now you do. But we got to talk about SmackDown. This was the SmackDown before SummerSlam. Not much to hit on regarding the build up. It was the usual.
It's a go home show. I mean, you can never really expect much, especially since it was also. Was this one pre-recorded? No. This one was live.
This was live in Cleveland.
Nonetheless, yeah, it was a go-home show.
This was basically, and I'm not gonna speed through it. We'll get to some of the matches, of course. This was when Solo basically convinced Cody to do a Bloodline Rules match. That was confirmed.
Which, in theory, doesn't make an ounce of sense, because why would Cody agree to that?
He even has said that multiple times. Like, I don't even know why I would agree with it. He's being the hero champion. But the first match of the night was Andrade taking on Carmelo again. And this time I thought Carmelo was going to get the upper hand. He did not. Andrade wins via roll up over Carmelo Hayes 2-0. So Carmelo, he seems to be real, and he can't get a win over Andrade. This was a good match. What did you think?
You agree that it was a good match this time?
It was.
Because the last one, you seemed to not like it at all, and it was actually probably like the best match of the week.
Maybe I was tired. I don't know. All right. Maybe I was moody.
These two, again, put on a banner.
Yeah, they're great.
They're legit. Carmelo, when I said earlier in the show, like, Carmelo is not there yet, he's putting on great matches. The crowd will eventually get behind him. They just gotta, It's weird how that doesn't translate from NXT. Same thing happened to Karrion Kross. That was a little bit because his gimmick was completely changed. Carmelo's running the same gimmick, and it's just not over yet. But he's legit. He can go.
Yeah, and Andrade. He's fantastic. He's the WWE Speed Champion for a reason. Anyway, one of the next matches was Santos Escobar taking on Apollo Cruz. Santos getting the win over Apollo. This match was not good.
No.
This was, as you said, it was a go home show, and they had to throw a match together as a filler, and that was Apollo versus Santos. Anything to note on that match?
Why do they do this to Baron every time?
That was exactly what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, Jesus Christ. The dude in him and Braun on NXT was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then they were kind of stuck in the stand. It's almost like I wish Braun and Baron would have stuck together, but Braun has to go by himself. And there we see it. We saw that.
I've said this before. There is not a single person in wrestling, a wrestler trying to make it, that wants to be the best tag team in the world. They want to be the world champion. So if they have that shot to make it, they're going to break up their tag team in an instant. It's happened more than once. It happened to the fucking Hardy Boys. It happened to Edge and Christian. It happens all the time. Somebody in the tag team is always better. It's plain and simple.
Agreed.
Better, more charisma, whatever. Shawn Michaels over, I don't even remember his name anymore. I'm kidding.
Marty Jannetty.
I'm kidding. I'm just
Don't do
doing
that.
the thing.
Don't do that.
Marty Jannetty, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy. Obviously, Jeff Hardy was the popular one. Nothing against Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy actually should have been the guy because Matt Hardy has had a more steady career, and I
had
think
a more
Matt Hardy
stable career.
Yeah. Anyways, you know what I mean though? Like somebody always has to be the bigger star. And there's not a single person in wrestling that doesn't want to be world champion.
No, I agree with that. If you're doing something, why would you not want to be the best at it? So what's the point? You just want to be a jobber? No, I wouldn't think so. Up next, this got a good laugh of the crowd, but it was basically hyping up the United States Championship between Logan Paul and LA Knight, where Paul with fake dignitaries getting booed profusely, partially because he is a good heel and partially because the crowd were probably mixed of the people that were like, hey, we saw what you tweeted, you're a piece of shit, whatever. But then there was a banner that was unveiled to hang in the rafters for Logan Paul, and instead of it being the full banner, it was nicely spray painted with "yeah" on it. LA Knight interrupts and he says, "You know what? I got another banner backstage. Let me go find it." And then he just steals the big prime car of Logan Paul's. And Logan is complaining to Nick Aldis and saying that's got to be a crime, which he's not wrong. But I thought this was hilarious.
The two best parts of Nick Aldis, period, is he's good at what he does. The part where this banner came down and Nick Aldis standing there, he's like, and Logan Paul's like, "What do you think?" And Nick's like, "I like it. I like it."
Looks really good, actually.
And then Logan's like, "What the?"
Yeah, no, that was good. So just building up the hype for that match that was set to, as we talked about on SummerSlam. This match, though, was the Women's Tag Team Championship match, the Unholy Union defending against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Match itself was meh. It was meh. Jade Cargill, man, I still think there's high potential for her, but ever since the debut, things have kind of not been as great for her. She's got the look, but the in-ring, she's got a lot of misses more so than she does have hits. There's still hope. Don't get me wrong. She's in the WWE. They know what they're doing. Hopefully she can learn and get better. But this match was but it was thrown out via disqualification because Blair Davenport attacked Jade Cargill outside of the ring, leading to the referee throwing the match out. Blair Davenport has kind of sided with the Unholy Union here of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. What do you think of the match and the finish?
Sometimes shit is shit, man, and I'm totally over Cargill. I don't think she has it. I don't think she'll get it. It is what it is.
You don't think she'll get it? No.
She's had so many opportunities now. I no longer think, and I'm gonna hate myself for saying it, I no longer think we can blame this on AEW. I just
Do
don't
you,
think she has it.
are you when you're saying it? You're talking about in ring, right?
And even her charisma, her character is.
She got the look. She got the look, but she can do the
Bianca
simple.
carries them through. Bianca carries them
Yeah,
through everything.
Jay does the simple stuff
The
really
second
well.
she's out of Bianca's bubble, she's
Right.
nothing.
I hope she figures it out. But
I don't think she will.
yeah,
That's
all
me
right.
though. I just don't think it
Uh,
is. Takeaway from the matches. I think Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are amazing. I
mhm.
think they are.
Blair Davenport too, though, showing up and just Blair
I
Davenport's
like
great.
Blair Davenport. There's just something about her that I dig.
Yep.
I hope they can figure it out with her because I know a lot of the reports is she's not moving any needles with a lot of people, but I think I think she has something. They just got to find it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe having a run with the Unholy Union is good. We'll see. We get a couple video packages, of course, hyping up SummerSlam. Nia Jax meeting with Tiffany Stratton, giving her the new custom women's Money in the Bank briefcase, which is basically a pink purse. Said
The
now,
fact that there's a strap on it is absolutely ridiculous.
and says, now if you try and use this on me, you'll have to answer to, of course, me. Chelsea Green and Piper Nevin are criticizing the look because Chelsea says she would have painted it a different color, and saying that Stratton responded by saying green was not Chelsea's color. I was like, just a moment to get Chelsea Green on screen too, which was pretty cool. So funny little back and forth, and that was that. The main event was the WWE Tag Team Championship. The Bloodlines, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, taking on DIY, the champions at the time. But the Bloodline, they get the gold. They get the tag titles. There's some gold back in the Bloodline. And first, though, the match. I thought the match was it was good. DIY got a good some hometown love. Johnny Gargano got the hometown love. I'm sad to see this title reign over for DIY, though.
It's a quick one, like 29 days. um,
You get that, though,
it
sometimes.
makes sense. It had to happen. The story, everything, it makes sense. Mute yourself so you can eat on camera. That's fine. It's we could have paused for the 5 minutes we had taken to eat chocolate, but whatever. Anyways, nonetheless,
I'm not a professional.
yeah. Well, it's clearly showing. Anyways, nonetheless, you totally skipped over the awesome promo video for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso walking to the ring. That was cool. That was cool. That was really cool. It actually made the loss hurt more. So I'm not really. It's like there are over 10,000 members of his family waiting for the
Yeah.
bloodline, and then they lose.
Let me just kiss my hold up my child and love my family and then get the
Candice
title.
LeRae, Indy Hartwell back there and everything. Yeah, a little weird. Cool promo though. I dig it. I really felt for Johnny there. Johnny and Tommaso are legit. I don't think this is the end for them. I
I
hope
hope they get
not.
him back at this point, right? But now
I
what do you
think
do?
you needed the titles on the bloodline for story purposes and shit, but
Just to make it
see
feel
where
like
it goes.
Solo, to make it feel like
We'll
a
see
Solo
it
had a
goes.
chance, you think?
Something. I don't know. They'll go somewhere with it. I don't like it. I get it, but I also don't think it was 100% necessary. I think they would have been just fine not, but whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, there, look, see, I can be critical of WWE on things. It's possible.
You did. You did.
Jade Cargill, I don't think she's it, and I thought this title change was dumb. But the
As
match itself, great main event, fantastic, a lot of fun. Legit.
as a
Jacob Fatu is just different though.
yeah, as a go home show, did it do its job though?
Yeah, 100%.
So
It
that's
was
what I
quick.
thought too.
Nothing major happened. Some stories got finalized for the pay per view. It did what it did.
It did its a job. But now we are post SummerSlam here with the August 5th episode of
And
Monday Night
shit
Raw.
stayed hot.
And this was one of the best Monday Night Raws I've watched in a very long time. Because we can admit we did have a couple Raws where like, oh, man, it's rough Raw.
Raw hasn't
It's
been
a rough
good
Raw.
for most of the summer. Raw hasn't been great.
But this Raw absolutely kills it. We kick things off with Ludwig Kaiser in the ring to introduce us to the new World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. He introduces himself, of course, as the longest reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion, the WWE King of the Ring, and the new World Heavyweight Champion. Got a beautiful heel promo, but also the crowd kind of recognizing, yeah, you deserve this, Gunther. But he's interrupted by when he says the words, I don't know who will stand our chance next. Randy Orton is the one to answer the call. The quote unquote, I guess, tainted victory that Gunther got over Randy in King of the Ring, the King of the Ring final.
See,
And
it's amazing how they can make a botch and
mhm.
flip it around and make it into something. God
Yep.
forbid another company tried to do that with some shit that goes on.
And Gunther said that win has bothered him because it was tainted. And he was looking forward to it. And it's official. It is Gunther versus Randy Orton at Bash at the Berlin. So looking forward to that one. Sadly, I think we both can say Randy's not going to win that.
Not in
Maybe
Berlin.
not
Not
in
this quick.
Berlin.
No.
Not the first
Not
title
happening.
defense. Probably
Not
not.
happening. Not
Should be a
happening.
good match. Should be a good match.
Great fucking promo between these two. Heat instantly.
Oh yeah.
And then the no mic talk at the end where Gunther's like, nothing catches me out of nowhere.
Gunther said nothing was going to come out of nowhere for him, and Randy said, "Good. I want you to see it. I want you to see it coming." And then we get from that, and yeah, great back and forth there. We get a Sheamus promo leading up to his match, who against Ludwig Kaiser, who's already in the ring. Sheamus is going to pick up the win over Ludwig Kaiser. Sheamus is fantastic at his age, still going strong. I think we've talked about Ludwig in the past, pre Ludwig getting hurt. How man, Ludwig does have the potential. There's something with Ludwig. There was obviously this was probably just storyline purposes. I don't think he was taking a shot at Giovanni Vinci, but Ludwig did say he needed to cut loose from Vinci and
That
be
wasn't even a
himself.
storyline. That was
Just him being honest. And we haven't seen from Vinci since.
again. There's always somebody that's bigger in the tag team. There always is.
And it was Ludwig. In this
Ludwig,
case.
you Americans and your butchering of words. Ludwig
Kaiser.
So Ludwig Kaiser.
He lost.
I would know. I'm German. I would know.
Ludwig Kaiser. Is that better?
It's not Russian.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's Ilya.
Kaiser, he gets the loss, but he looked good in this match. Pete Dunne tried to attack Sheamus, of course, but missed this time, and that was that. What'd you think of the match? And Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig can go. You can always tell how good of a Sheamus match is how much his hair comes down from the spikiness because
And
of
then
how
how
much
red.
he's sweating.
How red he is.
These two went hard, back and forth, strong, powerful match. Man, good match, great match.
Agreed. But it was really just kicking off with Raw. A vignette plays, just showcasing that they're in Baltimore, Maryland, and that is where the debut of the Wyatt family had happened 11 years prior, and promoting the fact that the Wyatt Six were now debuting as a tag team in ring, like the Wyatt family in Baltimore, Maryland. Just a vignette hyping up what is going to be as we'll find out later, the main event of the night. So from that moment, we were like, all right, ready for the Wyatts. Just ready for the Wyatts.
It's wild. Did they have it in that promo where they said he was a prophet? I can't remember. But the shit that Bray said back then in the debuts and the shit he said throughout his career, very prophetic to what's going on right now. It's eerily wild.
And it was the making fun of Bray for rambling too much and not saying anything in his promos. Thus, Ramblin' Rabbit was created when he was in the Firefly Funhouse. But now it's pretty damn wild how close it makes sense when you really listen to the words of Bray Wyatt.
What he was saying and what's happening right now, it's prophecy, man. He different, man.
We come back, I think, from commercial to Damian Priest music's going off, and he is not interacting with the fans or anybody. He storms straight to the ring, calls out Finn Balor, and cuts a masterful promo of, I thought the Judgment Day was my family, but I realized on Saturday night that my real family was the WWE Universe. Crowd is fully behind Damian Priest at this point. Finn Balor appears on the video wall and reveals that this was a year in the making after Priest cost him the world championship last year. So it's like, in a sense, the other situation of the heels being justified. I don't know what you're doing.
I
The
don't know.
heels,
I moved my camera, but it was on the side of my screen.
the
I forgot about that.
the heels feeling justified in their actions per se. And Finn saying that, and they introduced the new Judgment Day: Carlito, JD McDonough, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, and of course Finn Balor. And he says he'll wait to attack Priest until Priest feels safe. However, he does say JD will be having a match with you later in the night. What do you think of Damian and Finn's promo here? Mainly Damian.
This is where Damien is now a superstar. And also this kind of new character they've given him. He's kind of street thug now, per se. Kind of he's tank top, wife beater, comes out storming, got that powerful walk. Luckily didn't tear any quads, so that's always a good sign. So, anyways, nonetheless, promo, masterful, absolutely perfect. Everything about this Finn Balor portion of it also perfect. Finn Balor is he's a reason. There's a reason why he's one of the top paid guys in WWE. Finn Balor is that guy.
Deserved.
So good. This whole story angle is just going to get more and more wild, and they all have it coming to them. It's great. The main question is here: do you think Finn offered to buy Carlito a new PS5, and that's why he went that side?
Ooh,
That's probably like the deal breaker. Like, who buy me a PS5? Hey, Damien, buy me a PS. No, I'm buying a PS. I'll buy you one.
We'll get you one. We got Liv. Liv will buy it again. So yeah, that's probably why Carlito stayed with the new Judgment Day. We'll get more Judgment Day action later on in the show. Lyra Valkyria had a match with Shayna Baszler. It was thrown out by DQ because Zoe Stark attacked Lyra. Damage Control came out to make the save, and they attacked Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville. What do you think of the match and the Damage Control coming out and making the save?
I'm just gonna get it in right now. I like Lyra now more than I liked her in NXT. I've seen some things from her that are like, okay, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it all together. Later in the show, which actually I didn't bring up, Dakota Kai is injured again, by the way, but nonetheless, that's why we'll get to it. But that's why she wasn't in the match tonight. But nonetheless, Shayna and I think Zoe Stark is a phenomenal wrestler. Just doesn't have the hookshva, as Jewish people would say.
The aura.
Yeah. And Sonya Deville, unfortunately, I like Sonya, but she ain't good in the ring. I feel like those three are dragging whoever they're wrestling down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was in this Lyra match with Shayna, and it was later in the Sonya match with Io. Yep. And Io's fantastic. Io is great. So yeah, they're gonna push this for a while, but I think they'll be like, oh, this ain't working. Crowd ain't clicking with it. Nothing's working with it. I don't like it.
Yeah, that match was tough.
If it wasn't for these two matches on the card, this would have been a perfect show. A perfect show.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid. I think the matches were just there just to further that storyline. Shayna has not been good since her NXT days. And
like I said before, it's wild how some people come out of NXT hot and then just lose it all when they get to the main roster.
Yeah. Up next, we had a Final Testament vignette hyping up their match against the New Day's Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston later in the show. We get the Creed brothers. They're talking to Ivy Nile, where Maxine Dupree approaches them and asking.
Also, that was another fire promo. Karrion Kross's promo, fire.
Karrion Kross is fantastic. There's WWE just Instagram exclusive promos he's got, and it's like, just do this every week. Creed brothers are with Ivy Nile. Maxine Dupree approaches and asks where Ivy's been. She tries to apologize for the Creed brothers' behavior, but Chad Gable comes up and says that Ivy has nothing to discuss with Dupree. Nile leaves with Gable, and Chad tells Maxine that they can keep the Alpha Academy because he's got a new team, and we'll find out who that team name is later on. But the big thing here, CM Punk is out. Music hits. Tape fist, smile on his face. Punk says he's happy because he was wrestling again. He says he was supposed to return in 9 months. It took him 5. Calling out Drew McIntyre, basically before he calls out Drew, I'm happy that I was able to compete in the match, and I'm not happy I lost, but I'm happy that I'm here. And he's good on the mic.
I don't buy it.
No,
A guy that's that toxic, happy.
yeah,
I don't
true.
buy it.
Good point. He calls out Drew McIntyre, but of course it's not Drew that comes out, but Seth Rollins, causing a reaction from CM Punk in the ring. They square up, but they don't fight. Because they're interrupted by Drew McIntyre, who's in the crowd, and he's trying like hell to get Seth and Drew to notice him, but they won't stop looking at each other in the ring. What are you looking at?
Why do you always skip over the best parts of shit?
I'm just reading the fucking thing. If you have a comment, say it.
I am going to say it. You totally skip over the fact that Seth Rollins came out looking like Hangman Adam fucking Page.
You're the only one that thought that. You made me think that, though. You tried to convince
Put
me
the
that.
pictures side by side and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me when I'm telling lies, Kurt.
Yes, Seth Rollins came out with. So the
That's
tassels.
not a shot. That is not a shot at all, right?
I didn't. I saw the thing and I saw a couple tassels and I was like, no. And then the camera zoomed out and I was like, oh, okay. And yes, because when Punk was in AEW, the promo that really set it all off with the whole departure of Punk at AEW was because Hangman Page went off script in a promo. And I don't know if it was a shot. You never know with Seth Rollins.
How can it not be a shot?
We might be the only ones that are thinking it because I didn't see it anywhere else.
I don't think we are the only one. Okay, if we are the only ones thinking, that means I just get it and nobody else gets it. You cannot deny the fact that if you put a picture of Heyman Adam Page side by side with Seth Rollins wearing their shit, it looks the same. Heyman Adam Page tonight was wearing shit that looked like that. There is no way that's not a fucking shot.
Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. The promo ensuing was good. I did forget about that because it's not in the notes by Fightful because they're not smart enough to write that down. Finally, Drew does appear, trying to get their attention of Punk and Seth. And it takes Drew bringing up the charm bracelet again. He's like, I got your family with me. Finally, CM Punk shakes his head and runs away from Seth. And Seth's like, all right. He chases Drew away. Nothing else with them. But Seth Rollins is attacked from behind by Bronson Reed. Bronson gets the upper hand, and he hits Seth Rollins with 6 tsunamis. And Seth is shown to be spitting up blood, and he's basically been wrote off here because of Bronson Reed's attack. So the promo first, of course, what do you think? And Big Bronson Reed taking out Seth Rollins. I know.
Why?
I know.
Why?
You're not a fan of Bronson. I know.
I don't get it. I don't see the appeal. Do people? Is he popular?
I'm not a big Bronson Reed guy.
I don't get it. I don't. But anyways, nonetheless, I mean, if you're gonna want to write a guy off, have him fucking pancake 7 times by a 350-pound monster. That'll do it.
Yeah.
That
happened.
Jason Jordan, Kurt Angle's kid. I don't know. You were a wrestler. I'm sure you could have done something, but you just stood there looking like an idiot. So
I'm like,
congratulations, buddy. You just lost your top draw for the next 3 months.
I'm like, Jason, what are we doing?
Anyways, nonetheless, kind of wild.
7. Well, they said 6. You think it was 7? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I counted 7. But anyways, I've seen 6 on a lot of websites, so it probably was 6. But it was a lot. It was probably 6 too many. But the promo fire promos.
Yeah. And really,
I don't think it goes anywhere with Seth and Bronson. I think this was just a way to get Seth off TV and Bronson just to look like a beast.
Seth's got to come back and get his get back and probably beat him in a match on Raw.
I don't know, man.
But for a storyline, Seth and Bronson Reed, that does not move me whatsoever at all.
I mean, it's
We'll see.
WWE. They can spin it and probably do
Also,
something with it,
did
but
you
I'm
see
not buying it.
when Seth took off the Adam Hangman Page jacket with the tassels and the way he looked? Somebody on Twitter said, "Dang, Becky must be cooking some good food at home because the dad bod's in full effect."
I heard that too, and you know what? Some shows Seth looks like that, and some shows it doesn't.
Maybe he had a good meal. He was bloated. Leave him alone.
100%. Maybe drank a lot of water that day. I don't know. It happens. Some days I look like a fat fuck, and some days I look decent. So,
I feel you on that.
honestly, I don't even know why people. If I said that about a woman,
Oh
we
yeah.
wouldn't be doing this no more.
Oh yeah.
But
For sure.
everyone can say that about Seth, and you know what? Yeah, he looked a little, but I mean, whatever. The dude's like nearly 40.
He can do what he wants. You can look up his age while I get through backstage. Jackie Redmond asking Adam Pearce for an update on Seth. States that Seth will be sent to the hospital due to worries related to internal bleeding. We see CM Punk storming around in the
Yeah,
background.
Seth Rollins is 38 years old. Every 38-year-old AEW fan wishes they looked like that.
CM Punk is in the background, storming around looking for Drew McIntyre, where he is stopped by Adam Pearce, and Punk just says, "Hey, have you seen Drew? I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
I just
And
want to talk to
just
him.
want to talk to him."
Just want to
And
talk
he
to him.
doing the choking his throat motion. And Pierce regretfully informs him that Drew has been led off the premises. The next match of the night was.
Kurt.
Do you have anything?
I just want to talk to you.
Yeah, just want to talk. Just want to talk. The New Day taking on AOP. They are going to pick up the win here. The New Day was a pretty. It was not a great match, was it? What'd you think?
No, you missed the part where they were dressed up like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and handed out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures to a kid in the crowd. Why do you miss all the good shit?
Because you're too scared to cut me off when I miss it. Oh wait, no, you always do.
Exactly. Because you miss it. Because you
It's
read
not
off
in
that.
my notes.
You
It's
read
not in
off.
my notes.
You read off a non-reputable site.
If I wanted to talk about every little detail that happened in the show, the fucking podcast would be 6 hours long.
No, but you could at least touch on the importance of the match.
It
Was
was more
horrible.
important
You
you
could have
because you
touched on the
love
fun. You
the
could have
Teenage
touched on
Mutant
the fun.
Turtles.
You could have touched on the fun part and totally forgotten about the shit match they had.
Not a great match. Teenage
No,
Mutant
it's
Ninja
bad.
Turtles collectibles. You could find them at Target. If you have a local Target, go to Target, get some New Day Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures. New Day does pick up the win. Karrion Kross intervenes, of course. And it seems like they're going to have the upper head of the New Day. And finally, as we talked about in the news for a split second, Odyssey Jones has appeared to help out the New Day. Big man. He is a big man. Kingston, sorry, I'm skipping a little ahead there. This double sidewalk slam he hit on Razor and Acom of the AOP was
Which is like
it's a lot of
probably
man.
close to 600 pounds of
Just
dudes.
lift and drop. And yeah, teamed up there. Seemed with the with the New Day. Backstage, Kingston was super hyped about Odyssey Jones. Said they met when Kofi was rehabbing in Orlando, and that he'd be cool to have around. And Xavier Woods seemed a little hesitant about the whole situation. So there's a bit of a story there coming in the next few weeks. I hope they're not replacing Big E, but at this point,
Big E's done, man. Why would you
Big E's
not
not
hope
coming
that?
back. Yeah,
He's
Big E's
not
not
coming
coming
back.
back.
He
So,
said that himself. He's like, I'm sorry, it's not happening.
like, I'm happy, I'm fine, I'm alive. If you want to have 3 people in the New Day, Odyssey Jones is a cool fit because that dude's
It's a powerhouse. He's huge.
massive.
And you know what? I don't usually like big guys. I really don't. That's probably why I hate Bronson Reed. I think that era of wrestling is long gone. The big guy is not wrestling anymore. Something about Odyssey. I think
Way
he's
talked.
got something about him. He's got something about him.
Yeah. Agreed. Up next, we had A Town Down Under appearing on Raw. There was a deal made with Aldis and Adam Pearce, allowing A Town Down Under to appear on Raw, taking on the Awesome Truth, and they get the win. A little confusion at the end of the match between Miz and R-Truth. Truth tagged himself in when he probably shouldn't have. I don't know. Maybe they're hinting at a split for the Awesome Truth. I hope not, because I really don't know what else those two can do. Well, that's a lie. We all know what our Truth can do. But what is the Miz going to do?
What? Heel Miz is probably the best thing around.
That's true. That's true. But does Miz have another world title run in him?
No.
I can see him going after the IC title, though. The Miz is the IC.
I think Miz still has it.
Yeah.
I think heel Miz, if he makes a turn on Truth and goes heel, I think there's something there again.
Yeah, and Truth can just be Truth.
Truth just does what Truth does. The dude's nearly 60.
But A-Town Down Under picking up the win. Right call here?
Yes, 100%. I'm waiting for the split though. I need heel Grayson Waller desperately. Like,
do you need face Austin Theory though?
No, I just need heel Grayson Waller, like full heel Grayson Waller.
Solo heel him. I feel you on that one.
I think Grayson has a long, successful career as a heel single.
Yeah, I can see that. Backstage, Kathy Kelly interviewing Braun Breaker, who just hypes up his Intercontinental Championship victory at SummerSlam, basically saying, I'm still hunting. I'm not waiting for people to come to me. I'm still going to go after them. So we'll figure out who's next. Braun Breaker, and this is the moment where I think you said, yep, title looks good on him.
Title looks great on him. You missed the JD McDonough promo, but that's cool.
Not on my notes.
That's cool. That's fine. Yeah, so anyways, JD McDonough promo talking about how Damian never wanted him in the Judgment Day. Finn was the only one that wanted him in the Judgment Day. Cuts a killer promo. All promos were killer tonight, actually. Mm-hmm. And then Braun Breaker comes in and cuts this killer promo. And he's like Gunther, man. He makes that IC title feel important. Some guys hold those mid-card titles and they don't feel great. But
Damian's promo is not on this list either, and I thought that was one of the cool ones, the vignette before the match, where he talked about bullets in the chamber, and if he had 2 left, it would have Finn and his name on it. Yeah, that wasn't on my list at all. Fucking fight.
Miss the JD, Damian. Reputable that you get your notes from there.
I guess so. Maybe I should let you lead the news going forward, or you lead the news, and then you can lead this too. I'll be the color guy.
No, fuck you.
I could be a color guy.
This show's way more fun busting your balls all night.
I'm aware. I see you smiling way too much about it. Damian Priest taking on JD McDonough. This was all the vignettes and the promos building up to it. Damian Priest, just the hard hitting style here. I'm gonna let you talk about what you thought, but wow, go for it, because Jesus, man.
JD, this is all JD, man. JD throughout his career, he does crazy shit. He'll do it all. I'm almost. There's a lot of stories of guys that like to work stiff. Chris Jericho being one of them. Rob Van Dam likes to work stiff. Some guys work stiff. I feel like JD's one of those guys that like to work stiff. Damian Priest probably too. To really make this feel like something, I'm sure they had a conversation beforehand. It was like, hey, just don't fuck up the face, but let's go. Let's make this feel like, because those shots felt real. So they went hard. Kudos to JD, because JD is underrated, phenomenally underrated.
Those forearms that Damian kept delivering, I was like, good.
They look legit. So, and you know what? When wrestling, it's all scripted. We all know that. It's all workmanship. But like I just said, you go back and you watch some of those Jericho matches back in his prime, and Rob Van Dam matches, Chris Benoit matches, and you watch those matches. Yeah, you can say his name. He was a part of wrestling. Yeah, he did a horrible thing. He's still a part of wrestling. You go back and watch those matches, and they like to work stiff. And you watch those matches, like, God damn, they're actually fucking going. And that's what Damian and JD did. So kudos to them to put on a match with that kind of emotion in it, and to make that shit look good, because that match was great.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The match itself was a DQ victory for Damian Priest, because Finn Balor did appear, and when Damian wasn't looking to attack him, the New Judgment Day appeared to just beat down Damian, but it didn't last long, because Rhea Ripley made her first appearance of the night, and she runs down to help out Damian Priest. She did get her hands on Liv Morgan, who was ringside with Dom, but Dom saved Liv's life before Rhea could put Liv through a table. Liv and Dom scurried away. Carlito scurried away. Finn was out of there. The only one left was JD, and he was in the ring with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. And Rhea headbutted the fuck out of JD McDonough. And watch back this South of Heaven chokeslam from Damian to JD was beautiful. The height that JD got on this one was fantastic. Rhea and Damian embraced and hugged. It seems like the Terror Twins, as Rhea has coined them over the years, are standing tall together against the new Judgment Day. This will be the storyline that'll take us to potentially Bad Blood. And I'm pitching Finn Balor, Liv Morgan. No, I'm sorry. I'm doing this wrong. No, well, I just was trying to book something in my head for Bad Blood. But
it sounds like you're trying to book for an AEW show right now.
No, well, Finn's got to be a part of this because of Damian.
Not necessarily.
Well, then my pitch was Dom and Liv versus Rhea and Damian in a Hell in a Cell match.
You're giving me a migraine.
Huh? Damian and Rhea taking on Liv and Dom in a Hell in a Cell.
Finn and Liv.
Or just Rhea versus Dom Hell in a Cell.
Dad, I would love to see that.
Dom doesn't have to get. Dom will not get any offense in. Maybe like a Hurricane Rana or something. But other than that, it's just gonna be Rhea beating the ever loving fuck out of Dom.
I don't know. Is it still taboo to have women and men fighting?
She headbutted JD.
Fits the story. It fits the story.
It
yeah, but you can have
fits
a woman hitting men,
story.
but you can have men hitting women.
I didn't say Dom would get any offense. He's not going to get offense in, though. Rhea's going to beat the living fuck out of Dom. Dom's going through the cage. He's going through tables.
I don't think it takes that long to get there. And I don't think you have more than one Hell in a Cell in Bad Blood outside of Drew and CM Punk. I think we get a payoff to this story
sooner. Is Bash in Berlin next?
Yeah.
Yes.
And like in fucking
2 weeks,
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, nonetheless, however they get there, it's gonna be awesome because this heat between the Terror Twins and the Judgment Day 3.0 is legit. It's. Am I wrong?
No.
Again, tell me when I'm telling lies. It's so good. There's so much heat there. It's ridiculous. And honestly, Damian and Rhea together are probably the coolest fucking pair in a long fucking time in the WWE. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it makes sense to it fits the way their styles. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. You had mentioned this earlier with Dakota Kai's injury. DeVille, Baszler, and Stark attack damage control, and they focused on Kai's knee. So Dakota does apparently have a legit injury again, and that sucks. Jesus Christ, Dakota.
She's injured a lot, man. That's not good. That knee she might just be done. Like if she can't stay uninjured for more than like a couple months at a time, that's not tough, a good thing.
She's got the talent, but if you can't stay healthy, what's the point?
How can you book stories? How can you book stories? You can't.
Right. This leads to Io Sky taking Dakota's spot.
I almost took another shot at the other company, but I feel like I've done that all night.
Don't worry, we still got to talk about Dynamite, but I got a feeling that recap's not going to be very long. It's not going to be a long recap. I have nothing to say about that show, except for, as you said, the opener and the finish. Io Sky defeating Sonya Deville, though, in the match that they had. The crowd was not into this match at all. They were actually chanting, "This is boring" at one point. Got to get Sonya Baszler, and Stark figured out something. Because
it's not working. I said this earlier, and then this match went on to prove it even more. So I don't think it's the opponents. I think it's just Sonya, Baszler, and Zoe just don't have that charisma, the aura, the hook shot to pull it off. Even as heels, they're not getting any reaction. The one out of that whole group that I want to see succeed is Zoe because she is a phenomenal wrestler.
Just got to get a good promo.
She just yeah, they got to figure something out for her. But I think Shayna's she's just there now, and Sonya she was injured for so long, and she gets injured again, and like
She was better as an authority figure, to be honest.
I loved her as like the GM, interim
Yeah.
GM, the GM's assistant, whatever it was,
Mm.
Tad and Pierce or however they were doing it. I can't remember exactly, but I only caught the tail end of it. But they were doing that for a while and it worked really well. I digged it. I'm like, I like this,
Mhm.
but I don't like what they're doing now. I think it's unfortunate, but it's just not good. It's just not. And I feel so bad for Zoe because she can go, but she just
Oh, yeah.
doesn't. It's her character, how they present her, whatever. She doesn't. It doesn't work for her.
Up next, we got a backstage with Ilya Dragunov talking to Sami Zayn, saying he was a champion who motivated others. Zayn praised him and promised to be a great champion again in the future. Jay had to show up to hype up Sami, who announces he does have a rematch next week with Braun Breaker. Braun versus Sami one more time, most likely, with, I assume we could both agree, probably Braun going over again. But just the rematch, just to get it out the way. But yeah, Braun Breaker. Sami
I
Zayn.
like the sound like, oh no, man, what's that? Like I don't know if I should. I'm just getting out of the next
Of
week.
course, I got a rematch next week. Oos, yeet, yeet. Before we get to the main event, that was what I was most upset about. Not I'm joking when I say this, but the fact that Jay and Rhea didn't have an interaction.
Oh, it's
I wanted
common.
it. I wanted it. I wanted a Rhea and Jay interaction on Raw. He probably was.
I
Keeping
don't
it there
think you
just
you cannot throw comedy into Rhea and Damien's story right now. You just can't.
yeah, but like a little passing by, like
No, you can't right now. You can't. You got to keep that heat. You try to make light of anything going on there right now, it doesn't work.
if you want to keep it serious, though, just have Jay walk past her and be like, "So about that Waffle House," and have Rhea just like turn and look at him, and just Jay go, "Yeet," and just walk away. Just walk away. That'd
Like
be funny.
maybe, maybe
That'd be funny. But you can't have Rhea look at him and
at
like
the most.
smile a little bit. You can't have her
No.
like smile, or she got to be locked in. I see what you're saying. It's too serious. You can't have no fun with it. But I need Jay and Rhea to interact some more because it's hilarious. Let's talk about something serious though. It is the main event. Chad Gable, Julius Creed, Brutus Creed, the new team labeled American Made, takes on the Wyatt Six, Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, and Eric Rowan. It's the in-ring debut of the Wyatt Six, and they did as advertised. We know Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy can go. Haven't seen Eric Rowan in a while, but he had a couple cool moments in this match. Chad Gable and the Creeds are, by the way, just fantastic. What, dude? What? Seriously, what? I'm talking. What? Go. Go
Joe
ahead.
Gacy's video promo. Joe Gacy's video.
Why did
Totally
they
skipped
not
over that.
include that? Jesus fucking Christ. I'm closing tabs. I'm done.
Where he's in the fucking back, he's rocking, and he legit thinks he's Huskus the pig. Like
I gotta find a new site. I can't do this shit anymore.
that promo was good. He's just in back
Yes, it was.
rocking.
I agree. Why
He
the
legit thinks he's Huskus the pig. Like Joe Gacy's fucking out there, and he's probably my favorite. And I know you say Uncle Howdy, but Joe Gacy is my guy in
you
this group.
you talk about the match? I'm going to like fucking 411 Mania or something. Fightful Select actually fucking sucks with their recaps. This is the stupidest shit ever. How do you miss out on little good things? I'm losing my mind now. You've set me over the edge. I don't even want the rest of my candy. I'm so upset right now.
Anyway, so yeah, the entrance was a big thing here because it started off like the what they've been teasing with the piano and everything for the last forever with this whole thing, and then I was like to Kurt, I was like, is that not Bray Wyatt's entrance music? And you're like, no. And then you're like, holy shit, it is. I'm like, yes, it is. And then the rocking chair and the lantern and everything and the whole group's out there. I was just like, oh my, these guys are just killing it with this shit, man. It's so good. Again, I'll say it. I said it last week. I say it every week. If you don't think this is some of the best shit going on in wrestling, like you just you're dead inside. Everything about this is perfect. Yeah, the match. I mean, I liked it. Everyone's saying, you got to let these guys be ultra powerful and not lose and not even get any offense against them. And you're wrong. They're not some supernatural character. They're
No,
just broken
they're
people.
broken people who are portraying the prophet's words of the people.
So
Shout out to WrestlingHeadlines.com, by the way. They know how to do a full report on things. I just double checked, and they did actually include the promo from Joe Gacy in their notes. Those that pay attention to Fightful and anything Sean Ross Sapp has to say, he can honestly go fuck off. He's a liberal piece of fuck anyway. Carry on with what you were saying, RK.
Jesus Christ, man. I need that meme of the kid going, Jesus Christ.
This was a good match. I enjoyed the tribute that Eric Rowan did to Brody Lee with the kissing and the fireflies and over the top. Obviously, we knew the Wyatts were going to get the win here. It just made sense. And the Creeds are great. Gable's great. But I wonder what's next for them. That's what I was going to ask you. Where does Chad Gable and the Creeds go from here?
I don't think this is done yet.
No. Yeah, you're right. Because Uncle Howdy's got to get his hands on Chad Gable. We got to have that one.
So there was a tweet earlier this week. Liv and Dom. Dom posted the picture of the chicken fingers. Liv gave him, and she gets me. And then Mercy the Buzzard. Dexter Loomis posted is a picture of Bo Dallas when he was in back talking to Adam Pearce in the back office, and Mercy just posted, "Is Uncle Howdy a joke to you?"
Yeah, I wonder if that was a legit account. I didn't look it up, but
No, it was Mercy the
okay.
Buzzard's account. They
And
all have their own Instagram, Twitter accounts.
it makes
Joe
sense
Gacy posts some crazy fucking shit. Actually, follow him. But
with how the Wyatts are ran. When you betray your family, they come after you. Gable did it, so now you could almost put in the eyes of.
well, you need something for Nikki Cross to do. So Liv would seem like,
And I said that. Yeah, I mentioned that. We got to have Nikki in a match now. Well, Liv, but then there's this whole outlier of Liv's got the world title still. Like, we got to get that off of her, I think.
wasn't there almost a superhero who was world champion at some point?
Yeah, Nikki ASH.
Weird. Wonder if that's the same person.
I don't know. I'm just waiting on Alexa Bliss to show back up. But
STG, man. STG. STG, dude. I will lose my shit when she comes back. I hope she comes back. I've been missing Little Miss Bliss.
She's been training. Getting back in shape. So yeah, I miss her on TV. So that'll be fun. And that was me thinking of people to incorporate with Nikki. I feel like Alexa can have something to do with this story. With her being,
oh, there's history there with Bray. 100% there is.
So it's kind of like, could you have Nikki versus Bliss?
You do something there. Could do something there.
Who's the real Sister Abigail? It's the custody of. Anyway, I'm joking when I say that.
Well, wasn't Alexa Bliss's character? She had the doll who was Abby.
Yeah, she was possessed by the doll. It was still her. But this is this is Nikki she's still Nikki Cross, as we talked about with Gacy and them. She's still Nikki Cross, but she is a broken individual who is now taking over the image of Abby the Witch, as is Dexter Loomis with Mercy the Buzzard and Joe Gacy with the pig and all that stuff. Which it's really interesting when you think about it, because they can still be their self while broken and hurt and destroyed from the life they've dealt. But I don't know, man. It's just there's so many ways you can go.
There's something there. You cannot, if Alexa Bliss comes back, you cannot not use her in an angle somehow to do with this, with all the history she has with Bray Wyatt.
There's also, who is injured right now, Braun Strowman. That can factor into that as well. With him for sure, over even more so than her. But yeah, there's so many ways this is going to go, and we'll see what happens next week on Raw.
Honestly, they can run with this for years to come.
Right.
There's good interviews. Actually, Chris Van Vliet had an interview with Bray Wyatt quite some time ago, and he said, "Your brother, Bo, is there any chance that you two could do something together in the future. And Bray's like, yeah, there is. He's like, do you guys have conversations about that a lot? And he's like, well, no, not really, but we have definitely talked about it. Here's the thing. Bo Dallas, my brother Bo, he's one of the most underrated performers in this company. They could run with this for a long time.
Bo's great. From his days in NXT, the Bo Dallas run, believe. Do you believe? Yeah, we'll see how long they can run with it. I'm ready for Raw next week to see what happens and see what more we get from the Wyatt Sixes. But that was the post SummerSlam Raw. What did you think of the? I thought this was one of the best Raws in a very long time, to be honest with you.
Start to finish, outside of the two matches that I just did not like.
Mm-hmm. And
And
even the New Day match too.
Yeah, the match was not great, but everything
Odyssey
involved
Jones,
with
all
it
that.
was
Yeah.
great. So that helped roll it through. If you can keep a story going with a bad match, then it's fine.
That's
But
fair.
if you have a bad match with a bad story, who gives a shit,
Whatever.
right?
And you're not going to get anybody interested. So yeah, but I think it was a really good Raw.
Which is where
that show.
AEW fails. It's where they fail, because if they have a bad match, which they do have, not every match is a banner in fucking AEW.
No,
They just don't have the story to back it up to keep it moving. They have a bad match. It's a bad match.
Jericho Suzuki.
Jericho Suzuki had a bad match, but Jericho's still doing his gimmick, and it's hilarious. So I still want to see what the fuck Jericho's up to every week.
That's about it. That's about it on that show. But yes, all right, we're gonna try WrestlingHeadlines.com and see if they can actually do a good recap of things, and maybe they even spell wrestlers' names correctly and they don't forget things. So here we go. I know I could take my own notes, but I'm lazy and I don't have time for that. I can admit that one. I'm admitting. The first step is admitting. But this is the NXT Great American Bash week number 2. We kick things off with Trick Williams taking on Pete Dunne. This was a good match, showcasing how good Pete Dunne really is, to be honest with you. I'm not going to go through every move of the match because Jesus Christ, wrestling headlines, they are going crazy with this recap. May regret this going back. But we'll get down to the end here. So we got a finger snap and Dunne avoiding the trick shot. Pete Dunne's going to pick up the win here in this one. Surprise, maybe or not, RK? What'd you think with Pete Dunne beating Trick Williams?
So you seemed a little surprised about it, and I'm like, it makes sense.
When you
It makes
explained it, I was
sense.
like, yep.
It makes sense because Pete Dunne is basically saying, "Hey, Trick, figure it out," and he's figuring it out because there's some rage coming out in Trick. He kind of, snaps after the match. Kind of snaps during the match. He's telling Trick, figure it out, and he's showing him, "Hey, if you don't figure it out, you're gonna keep losing. So you better figure it out." So he's just helping him figure it out. It works perfectly.
Agreed. That once you
I
explained
think
it,
a
I was
little
like,
bit of
yeah.
rage to Trick's game is gonna help him.
Yeah, and we've said that. It's my biggest worry with Trick recently has been his in-ring ability. You hand the dude a microphone, the crowd's listening, they're locked in. He's got the charisma and the look. In-ring needs a little help, and maybe he had a little rage to his in-ring and maybe his promos. We could be cooking with something here. Up next, we have the NXT locker room in a barbecue setting. Hank Takes Barbecue for Great American Bash. The NXT locker room is kind of pissed off that
Having a
Lexis
cookout.
King. Yeah, this was the cookout they were talking about. They're taking issue with Lexis King being the DJ because he's only playing rock music. But Lexis can't stand Eddie Thorpe's EDM music, which I don't like EDM music anywhere, so I'm kind of on the side of. I don't.
I like
Not a
it.
fan. I'm not a
I like it.
fan. There's a couple songs though that have came across that I've been like, oh, this is sick, but Lexus can't stand Eddie Thorpe's EDM music. Eddie Thorpe shows up, tries to fight Lexus. Tank says there will be no fighting at Hank Takes Barbecue. Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner are shown bickering about who can eat more ribs, and we get a official rib off between Stevie Turner and Mr. Stone. I don't know who won that, but Ava's there, and
Stevie won 100%.
she was going to town. Ava is
That's a
there
woman after. That's a woman after my heart, right there, man.
mowing down on some barbecue ribs. Ava's there and is completely confused at what is transpiring. We'll get more from the cookout a little later on. Before we get to the next match, Nathan Frazier wishes Ethan Page good luck with his title defense. Page says it's Frazier who needs the luck because his tag team partner got pinned by MSK last week, and he looks around for his partner. Frazier says that getting pinned is kind of Ethan's forte as of late. Let's see who actually walks out of the Bash as champion by the
Hey,
end
none
of
of
the
those
night.
counted. They didn't count.
They didn't count. They didn't count. We'll find out what happens later in the night. Kalani Jordan versus Tatum Paxley is up next, though, for the WWE NXT Women's North American Championship. Tatum, we know Kalani's great. Tatum's got a cool little 450 splash on her, though. So she can pull out. And she can also deadlift more than our weight combined by a good amount. Have you seen those videos of her deadlifting? She's legit. I'll find it and show it to you once we're waiting for this to finish up.
I like Tatum. I like her a lot.
I
I
do
think
too.
there's a lot of. It's wild the amount of women on the NXT roster that are just good.
Yeah, that's why I've said it, and I've even tweeted at people hyping up AEW's women's division. I'm like, I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, man, I'm taking the NXT women's division over Raw, SmackDown, and AEW. There's just so much talent in that NXT women's locker room. We get a good match though. Kalani Jordan, Tatum Paxley.
Was Kalani selling or was she hurt?
I haven't heard anything on that yet.
Because
I
if
think
that was selling, goddamn, that was good.
she may have been selling because nothing has came out of her being hurt. I guess we'll wait for NXT, and I think you're going to probably see if you got anything. Was that what that was?
What?
Are you looking that up right now or no?
No.
I thought you grabbed your phone. I'm sorry. Jordan hits her with a Paxley hits Jordan with a roundhouse kick. Jordan hits an avalanche Spanish fly and then connects with the frog splash to win the match. After the match, we see Wendy Chu, who had came out actually mid-match, hands the doll to Tatum Paxley of Kalani, making Tatum happy, and then Wendy chokes out Tatum Paxley. So Kalani Jordan's still the NXT Women's Champion, and Wendy Chu choked out Tatum Paxley. What'd you think of this?
I like it. Wendy Chu doesn't need any partners, no help. She just needs her. I want to see where they go here with Wendy Chu. It's interesting. What are you doing?
Choking. Carry on.
Okay. Well, don't choke on a stream. That'd be freaking awkward as shit. And I don't have access to the stream, so I couldn't post it after the fact. So that's all things wrong with that. So please don't die. Especially on TV. I mean, could post the title. Kurt's last show on Top Right.
I love how your reaction to me choking is, I don't know how to post the stream. Great. Good to know, man. Thanks. Appreciate
What do you
that.
want me to call? Call 911. Hey, my buddy in Indiana's choking. No fucking clue where he is.
Woo. I'm alive. I'm fine. Yeah, carry on with how would you thought of Wendy Chu finishing off?
I like it. I want to see where they go with this. I really kind of dig in this. I want more from it, but it's a slow build. It's a slow build, and I want to see where they go. I think the payoff's going to be worthwhile though.
Alrighty. We see Charlie Dempsey was not pleased with Miles Bourne because
That's what you get for eating on the fucking cast, man.
That's not what caused me to choke up. It's this nicotine pouch in my mouth. Swear to God, I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. I've still got it in. I probably should have took it out. Charlie Dempsey is not pleased with Miles Bourne because he keeps getting thrown around like nothing by Kendall Gray. Ren Sinclair accuses Dempsey of stuffing Tavion Heights in the trunk again. Dempsey reminds Ren that Tavion is in. Sorry.
Did you
do it again? Because Tavion's not here. Explain that Tavion is in Japan competing in the N1 for Pro Wrestling Noah. Dempsey is still reluctant.
Japan. He's in Japan.
Wink. So yeah, Tavion is actually in Japan, competing for Noah in the N1. A little bit of more of the partnership with Noah in the WWE. Dempsey's still reluctant, of course, to allow Ren in the NQCC. Tony D pokes fun at Dempsey for a little bit, but he sweetens the pot. If Ren wins her match tonight, the Don will deliver another Heritage Cup title opportunity to Charlie Dempsey. Charlie says that Ren can join the group if she wins because she'll be the ticket to, of course, him getting the Heritage Cup trophy back. Then we see a backstage brawl with Pete Dunne and Trick Williams. So that is still carrying on.
Trick is figuring it out.
He's going to figure it out.
And can we also kind of talk about Charlie Dempsey here?
Getting better. He's good. He's good now.
He's really starting to channel William there.
He's
Really starting to.
He's his father's son. That is for sure. That right there. The crossing arms. While also taking a little bit of Tony D's playbook a little bit too. He's doing good. Back from when we first were introduced to Charlie Dempsey to now, completely different.
Night and day. A few months, night and day.
Mm-hmm.
That's what working with good trainers, good talent, good writers will do for a guy that didn't have it 3 months ago to having it all of a sudden.
Up next,
which is why if a roster member has a bad gimmick, they'll figure it out eventually. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Like I don't think Jade Cargill is going to get there, but you never know. But for most of them, if something doesn't work, they figure it out.
Go away for a little bit.
It's not the same thing as back in like the 90s where sorry, it's not working later. Like we might like Steve Austin, the Rainmaster, like that he got lucky.
No shit. Paul Heyman brought him to ECW. Up next is the NXT Championship match between Ethan Page and Oro Mensah. Of course, in this match, we get quickly into it. There is an attempted roll-up for a 1-2-3 count. Mensah does not get it. Mensah, at the end, gets a nice spinning heel kick for a 2 count, but Page had his foot underneath the bottom rope. Mensah then slipped off the top rope. Page nails Mensah with the pump kick, and then the Ego's Edge to get up the victory. You're still your NXT champion, Ethan Page. We kind of figured Ethan Page would hold on, but Oro's not bad. Not bad.
He's better than I was expecting. That's for damn sure. Way better than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting much out of this match from him whatsoever. But
so overall, though,
he's good. He's good.
And the match itself
overall,
for
what?
you? Overall,
the match was fun.
Yeah.
The match was fun. A lot of fun. I'm a huge Ethan Page fan, man. This dude, I like this dude a lot.
He's got the charisma and the natural.
He does.
Natural heel.
He is.
So good.
You want to hate him, which makes I love heels, man. Heels.
And you're gonna cheer him. You're gonna cheer him. It all clicked for me that he was gonna be the guy when he walked out in Toronto wearing as a Canadian wearing a full on.
That's
I was like that guy gets it. That dude's legit. So shout out to Ethan Page, still NXT champion. Find out on next week's NXT who's the hell is next for him. Kelly Kincaid, we get a backstage interview with the Rascals. It's been a long journey to get to the moment. So what does this tag team title mean to them? It's been 852 long days since MSK had the NXT tag titles. Frustration, hope has come. They never thought this moment would come. Wes says he's had some dark days in NXT. They were on Cloud 9 being champions, and then he was all alone. He's fortunate enough to have an incredible run with the North American Championship, but this is without a shadow of a doubt the best part of his career. That NXT is all about moments, and it's going to take a lot to beat Frazier and Axiom, but tonight is MSK's moment. This was good promo from Wes at MSK. Well, I guess you called it the Rascals, but made you realize that I always forget we weren't watching when MSK was the thing. I was barely paying attention to NXT at that time, and I want to say this was still NXT 2.0 days when they were trying that out.
That was a real short-lived.
But I don't remember. I can honestly say do not remember Zachary Wentz in NXT. Maybe I caught one match, but nothing came to mind. But now I know who Zachary Wentz is.
Well, he wasn't Zachary Wentz. He was...
Right. But I still didn't know.
What was his name?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, this was a really good promo. Wesley, he's good. Zachary Wentz. That's what I'm typing right now. Wesley Okay, going into the show, watching it, we watched it a day late. Did we watch it a day late? Something.
No, we watched it live. Not live, but after. But yes.
Anyways, I saw a spoiler. We knew what was going to happen by the end of the show. If
Oh yeah,
you if you didn't know, it might be hard to pick up on it, but you could see Wesley kind of dropping a little hint
yeah,
that it was coming.
yeah. Up next, we get Ashanti the Adonis. He is trying
Nash
to
Carter.
Nash Carter. Asante is attempting to flirt with Jada Parker and Brinley Reese. They're not really going for
He's
his
a young guy.
advances.
He's only 30. They still got a whole career ahead of him.
Jada Parker, Brinley Reese are not interested in Shanti the Adonis. Jada says the only thing she cares about is going after the NXT Women's Championship. Then Lola Vice and Sol Ruka show up. Santi takes a little dig and wants a little piece of Lola Vice. Lola Vice and Sol Ruka, they bicker with Jada about who should get the next shot at Roxanne Perez. I'm spacing the guy's name who came up and said, "You do got to admit, though, Thea Hale and Roxanne Perez put on a hell of a show. I'd love to see that one again." And Jada tells him to shut up. And then I don't know his name, and it's not on the notes because they didn't add this part, so now I got to find a news source. But it's one of the guys that was up and coming. He got a contract at NXT as part of their up and coming guys. I'm spacing his name.
Don't fuck.
But he's the he's a heel who thinks all the ladies love him, and he basically looks at all the girls and he calls them all smoke shows. And he says, "And I'm seeing a lot of smoke." And he goes to take a drink, and all the girls triple powerbomb him through a table. And Tank and Hank kind of let that one go because that was some funny shit right there. Up next, though, is Joe Hendry taking on Joe Coffey. Hendry takes out Gallus early with a flying plancha before the bell even rings.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
He just it wasn't even a flying launcher. He just fucking just did that, that hop
Yep.
over the rope sideways thing and just
Take him
fucking
down.
drops on them. It was good.
Yeah,
It was fun.
that set the tone for the match. Pretty good match in my eyes. Joe Hendry's going to pick up the win here, and we get. We'll talk about the match real quick for the interview afterwards. But what do you think of Joe Hendry and Joe Coffey here?
It was a good match. It was a quick match, 8 minutes long. You don't see it. I see it. Joe Hendry, that crowd singing his song at the end of that match, that a little tiny crowd like that was that loud. The Kofi Mania, Bryan Danielson. If the fans will it into existence, Joe Hendry will hold the WWE title one day.
If it happens, it happens. I don't see that. I don't see Joe Hendry as a world champion in WWE. But I hope I'm wrong. I love the gimmick and I love the singing and all that, but that singing shit ain't gonna last forever, is it? Is it?
Yes, some gimmicks just get over with the fans. In the end, the fans can will things in existence. You think Kofi was a world champion caliber wrestler?
Kofi's legit.
World
He's been
champion legit.
Been legit for years.
World champion legit?
Yeah,
No.
sure.
How long did he hold the title for?
Well, WWE's racist, and Brock Lesnar put him out.
So, anyways, nonetheless, they didn't want Bryan Danielson to win the title. That is well documented that they did not want Bryan Danielson to win the title. The fans made it happen. They tried so hard to not put the title on Danielson, and they couldn't get away with it. So if Joe Hendry is this hot and continues to be this hot and makes his way to the main roster, he is going to work his way to the top.
How many people have gotten hot and not gotten a world title, though? Because I got a whole counter argument. Yeah.
That hot?
Yeah, it happened last year.
LA Knight?
Yes.
At the same time that CM Punk came back, who's hotter?
Nope. Before. This was way before CM Punk came back.
LA Knight was only hot late last year.
Wrong.
Madly over. Mad over.
Super over. Hot as hell in the summer. And he came back and he faced Roman Reigns at the Saudi Arabia show, where people were like, I can see him doing it because Joe Hendry's over it. He's hot as hell. The whole
You're going to take the title off of Roman Reigns that's not named Cody Rhodes?
But he was hot. He was over. Maybe he should have got the title.
Who you don't take the title off of Roman Reigns in that position. You know that. You fucking know that.
But
That would ruin the
he was hot.
stories.
The fans were behind him. The fans wanted it. The fans wanted it. It was your word. Those are your words. The fans wanted it big enough that they did it.
More
fans
so
wanted
than they
it.
wanted Roman to continue holding the title?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You gotta understand that. LA Knight, we weren't watching it, and I hate that, so we really can't go back and talk about watching it together. But LA Knight was super hot. There's a reason that now he's got the US title. Everybody was like, Jesus Christ, this guy should already had a title by now, because he was the most popular thing in WWE. The LA Knight, the gimmick was so fucking over. He was cutting promos fantastically on Roman. Hell, we all talk about the moment when Roman walked out and LA Knight just music hit and just walked right past Roman. He was so fucking over. The fans were
But you couldn't.
behind
How
him.
do you fit that into any story?
They could have found a way. It's the WWE. I'm not saying they should have, by the way. I'm not saying they should have put the title on LA Knight. That's not where I'm
No,
going.
it wasn't the right time.
I'm just going with the fact that just because someone is super, super over doesn't mean you automatically go, here's a world title.
Yeah, it works.
Didn't for LA Knight.
Because Roman Reigns held massive creative control at the time.
So how soon is Joe Hendry going to get a world title?
Oh, 2 years.
So for 2 years, we're going to be singing the Joe Hendry song.
I mean, how long have people been singing the Joe Hendry song currently?
It only started this year.
Okay, there we go. 2 more years, 2.5 years we'll be
I
singing that
just
song.
don't see him as the guy.
You're gonna hate it when right again because who
The
was
guy.
right about who? Was right about what?
About who?
Who? Finn? Liv? All started 3 years ago. Infiltrated the Judgment Day. Took it over.
That's your version of it, but it's not confirmed or denied.
I'm pretty sure it's confirmed.
It's not been confirmed or denied.
Liv is now part of the Judgment Day. Finn is the de facto leader.
No, there's no leaders. There's no egos.
No, there's.
That's what he said. That's what he put on Twitter. There's no
Yeah.
leaders.
Sure. Damien didn't massively think that they were a group at one point too.
All I'm saying is
Edge didn't think they were a group at one point either.
You're basically saying Joe Hendry can be the guy with a world title on him.
Yeah.
And I don't see it.
Yeah. I see it.
And that's fine. We can have different opinions. And guess what?
We can.
I'm still gonna.
Your opinion's wrong. Mine's right, though.
Right.
That's the difference.
You've had wrong opinions before. You're not perfect.
Name one.
Name one. You said Bailey was going to beat Nia Jax. Wrong.
No, I did.
Yes, you fucking did.
No, I just said that for purely because I love Bailey.
But you were wrong.
That wasn't my opinion. That was my guess.
You were wrong.
If you want my opinion, the right woman won that match because of what Nia's been doing so far.
Backtrack now. You're starting to smell like tuna.
Let's go back.
Tuna.
Let's go back to episodes before that prediction video and see what I had to say about that match going in, saying that Nia could respectively win that match and it would make sense. Do I want her to win it? No. Do I want Bailey to win it? Yes.
But
Do I want Bailey to hold all the titles? Do I want Bailey to hold all the titles in all of wrestling? Yes, I do.
I'm joking about that. Obviously, it's a prediction.
18 belt Bailey. Let's go.
Prediction video you can't base it off that. But for you to sit here and confidently say I've never been wrong, tell me when I'm wrong is such fucking bullshit that you are so daft about it. And you
daft. Don't call me daft.
I don't even know if that was the right way to use the word, but I tried. And no, nobody's right about everything.
If at best I'm aloof about it, but daft? Come on.
Okay, all right. I see what you did there. Anyway, we've spent way too long arguing about Joe Hendry's a top guy. So sure, fuck it. Put the world heavyweight title. He should be the one to beat Gunther. Fuck it. He's gonna make Gunther say his name. Imagine. I do know, and this is me predicting. I think you'll agree with it. Royal Rumble in 2025. Joe Hendry's appearing in the Royal Rumble.
Yes. He won't win it though.
No, but that's going to be a big pop. Honestly, he should be like the first entrance.
Give him a full entrance? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Full entrance.
Let the crowd say it.
Yeah.
Let the crowd say it. Hear
'Cause
that fucking.
if he comes out at
Hear,
like 10 or
hear
something,
Lucas Oil Stadium just fucking lose their shit.
oh, I'm gonna fucking lose it, and I'm at the same time gonna be like, this motherfucker's god damn it. But it's real. He's gonna be in the Royal Rumble. You have to get that pop in the
Just,
Royal Rumble.
but you gotta like NXT at the end of that match when they were singing his song. How loud? That's louder than some stadiums are when they're fucking.
Yeah,
That was
we got to carry on. We can't throw. But there was an interview with him in the ring where he says he's not done with NXT. There's probably a lot of people in the locker room that will have a problem with that, but they can find him next week. As far as what's next, you won't even have to say his name because he will appear.
see
Go.
Joe Henry, one of those guys that wants to be the top guy. He has the drive. He'll make it happen.
Next week on NXT, we find out that Chase University will get a shot at the NXT tag titles. They'll get the winner of the main event tonight. It'll be Ridge Holland and Andre Chase, though, representing Chase U. And Ridge says that Mr. Chase deserves the opportunity to capture some gold. Duke Hudson seemed a little upset about that he wasn't
Him
in
and
it,
Riley.
but that it should have been him and Riley or him and Mr. Chase. But this case, it's going to be Ridge and Mr. Chase, and I honestly could see them getting the titles.
They're gonna win
I
it
could see
because
that
it furthers the story in Chase
with,
U, the dissension of Chase U. I think.
in a sense, right? But it seems they're all on the same page right now. But with a title in the hands, that Ridge maybe is the one that wins it. You never know where that'll go. Vic Joseph recaps what Arcade already talked about earlier in the news that CM Punk will be appearing on NXT when they're in Chicago, and Randy Orton will be showing up when they're in St. Louis. Ren St. Clair is taking on Kendall Gray in a match for if Ren wins, she's in the No Quarter Catch crew. Did I skip something?
The barbecue. They went back to the barbecue before that match.
And did what? Oh, I did miss that. They have that.
Sean
They have
Spears
that.
wants to mentor Brooks Jensen. He seems to
Yep.
agree.
Yep. Tells him to stop feeling sorry for himself. Mr. Stone has an idea that there should be a multi-person match featuring superstars who haven't got a shot at the NXT Women's Championship match. And Stevie punches him in the face because she has to be the one to pitch this idea to Ava. Hank and Tate get into a brawl with the Good Brothers as well in the barbecue.
So much fun. So much fun.
Seems we're gonna get a gauntlet or a rumble match for those that haven't got a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. That was that announced? I don't remember if that was announced or not.
Nothing's announced. If it was AEW, it would have been announced at the same time.
Right. We're hearing news from Ava. But Ren St. Clair, Kendall Gray, if Ren wins, she's in No Quarter Catch crew, and Charlie Dempsey will get a Heritage Cup championship match. And guess what? That does happen. Ren picks up the win because Charlie Dempsey tripped her from the outside. A little help. Sinclair rolls Gray up for a 2 count. Sinclair, wait, what? Yeah, she rolled her up, got the kick out, hits her with a straight right, hit the Dirty Deeds DDT to pick up the victory. Ren Sinclair is in the No Quarter Catch crew. She even throws up their sign, and Charlie Dempsey's got a Heritage Cup championship match against the Don next week. What'd you think of this match?
Charlie Dempsey wins the cup next week.
You think?
Yeah. And I like Ren.
She's growing on me. I agree with that. We get a Javon Evans vignette. He has not appeared on TV since it's been a while, but just kind of hyping up Javon, still keeping him relevant. Obafemi had a very productive meeting with Ava. Next week, he'll be putting his what?
You're killing me tonight, man. He hyped up the fact that he met Lord Tensai as a kid, and now Matt Bloom, Lord Tensai, Prince Albert.
I forgot about that.
Whatever he was over
Matt
in
Bloom.
Japan.
I don't know his name.
He had a different name in Japan. I know that. They obviously didn't mention it here because,
right. But yeah, Matt Bloom training him now.
Which is cool. The funniest part was Javon talking about it. He kept calling him Lord Tensai, and he's like, "Why do I keep calling him Lord Tensai? It's Matt Bloom."
Whatever. But he was also A-Train.
A-Train, yeah.
Was that New
That's
Japan?
what he was in New Japan.
Oh, they brought the A-Train gimmick to WWE too, though.
Yeah, but New Japan he went by A-Train.
A-Train. We see Obafemi says he had a very productive meeting with Ava next week. He'll be putting his North American title on the line. We don't know against who. Tony D'Angelo proceeds to interrupt Femi's interview just to plug his upcoming title defense against Charlie Dempsey. Femi was not happy about that. Then we get announced that Lexus King versus Eddie Thorpe 2 will take place on next week's NXT as well. The final match, the main event of the night, Axiom, Nathan Frazier defending against MSK. That is Wesley and Zachary Wentz with Trey Miguel at the ringside for WWE NXT Tag Team Championships. What do we got here? The finish came when Axiom connected with the Golden Ratio to pick up the 1-2-3. This was a fantastic match. It's what you expected with these four athletic competitors. And I've learned Zachary Wentz is one of my favorites to watch in the ring. He's fantastic. And I don't want to take anything away from Axiom and Nathan Frazier because they're insane, and Wesley as well. But that finisher that Wesley and Wentz pull off when one of them does the moonsault and they push him onto the thing, it's pretty cool. But what did you
cool
what do you think? What do you think of the match before we get to the post-match angle?
It's a great match. Fast-paced title match between four guys that can more than handle that pace and keep it up the whole match. It felt like 10 minutes, 10 and a half minutes went by in a blink of an eye. All the shit looked cool as shit. Nothing, everything just fun. It was a fast, fun match. The tension, the little miscue, the super kick that Nathan Frazier ate from Axiom, or vice versa.
Yeah, I forget who it was, but
pretty sure it was Axiom who kicked Nathan Frazier. Anyways, nonetheless, and everything it's got to pay off eventually. That team's splitting at some point, has to. But I like where they're going with it. Everything about it was a great match, great angles, everything about it.
And still, NXT champions are Axiom and Nathan Frazier. After it's over, the chance, hyping up the Rascals as they're in the ring hugging. But Wesley turns with a super kick to Trey Miguel and a low blow to Zachary Wentz, attacking the Rascals as the show goes off the air. And the question we're left with was, why, Wes? Why? And we will find out on NXT next week, I'm sure. But yeah, Wesley turned on. It was quick. This was quick. The Rascals reunion didn't last very long. But
what was funny was
not
after the match, the crowd was chanting their name, or they were chanting something to make them feel better about losing the match, or I don't know. Anyway, they were chanting, and we already knew the outcome of the match. I was going, oh man, this crowd's gonna be real disappointed in about 5 seconds. And they turned on Wes in an instant, and deservedly so. But he got instant heat from that, like phenomenal instant heat, which is exactly what you need in a situation like that. It makes sense. I mean, Miguel and Zach, they work for a different company.
TNA guys. I mean, what do you?
They work for a different. They're signed to a different company. What? You're not going to have that happen.
But at the same time,
Joe Hendry's probably the only one that clause in their contract that they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
But like, Wes turned on him, and are we not going to get a payoff?
But wasn't Wes before he got injured? Didn't he make a heel turn before he got injured, and then he got injured?
No,
I remember reading somewhere that.
I think there was signs, but he was also still super popular NXT champion babyface, and then he got.
So nonetheless, I still think that they were always planning a heel turn for him, and then he got injured.
Maybe.
Now they're just finishing the full circle. That's what I read.
There'll probably be some payoff at some point with the TNA crossover still a thing, but
100%. But I think Wesley as a heel works because he has a lot of anger.
Yes. Not winning the title, not winning the tag titles. Like he said, I was left alone because, well, his tag team partner left, and he held on to that. So yeah, that was NXT Great American Bash, and we're back to regularly scheduled program for NXT next week. We have to talk though about AEW Dynamite next, and I mean it when I say this. I don't want to spend too long on this. I really, really don't. We can do our best. We can talk about what we want, but RK, I mean this. There ain't much for me to talk about with this match except for the opening and the end. We kick things off with MJF, Kyle Fletcher. Good match. MJF picking up the win, of course. There was a moment in the match where Don Callis tries to get Kyle Fletcher to use a screwdriver. He won't. Similar to Will Ospreay against Swerve, where Callis tried to get him to use the screwdriver in his favor, and for some reason we got to be heroic heels here. Even when the heel has done a bunch of bad shit to the baby faces, they still got to apparently have a code, uh, whatnot. And yeah, so he won't use that. MJF took advantage of this low blow, brainbuster, 1, 2, 3, busted Kyle open with his dynamite ring. Will Ospreay came out to help before MJF could hit a Tiger Driver on him. Will comforting Kyle with Don Callis. Match was good. Post match stuff was cool. MJF's great, but Kyle Fletcher's pretty good in the ring. I think there's some things to work on. And what do you think of the opening to AEW Dynamite?
It's a good match, really good match. MJS, the guy, he is.
Yep.
He is everything he does is good. The opening of the match where he's like, "You gotta tell him to lock up. Tell him he has to lock up. That's
Be a
wrestling.
man. Be a man.
Be a man. Lock up." Shit like that. MJF does it all the time, and it doesn't get old. It's hilarious. We were talking, and then you all like, "Whoa, sorry, I had to listen to MJF screaming there when he got
Yeah.
the."
Yeah, when he got tilted, just yelling. I was going to say something. It's like, well, let me finish. Let him finish, I guess.
Good shit. This is another reason though, the post match here, why AEW needs to move to smaller arenas. Not only is it so they can make it look like they're actually filling the seats with butts, but also it took Will Ospreay a really long time to get from backstage to front. Like, how big is this fucking
He
arena?
was blocked in though.
No, but even he was
I
out
know.
by the time
I know.
MJF even did anything. So how long is it from his locker room to the ring? How big
That
is
is the
this arena?
part that
Are
made
they
me
in
laugh.
Heathrow Airport?
Like if they would have waited to show him getting out of the room that was blocked in, cool. You didn't. You showed him getting out of the ring, and then MJF did all he had to do,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay, you come on.
Is he
You were
walking
running.
there?
He
Is
was
he
doing
walking?
it stopped at catering, man. To grab a drink or
Anyways,
something.
nonetheless, the angles here. Is Kyle Fletcher leaving the Don Callis family too? Is he going to form? Is that? I just got it. Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, tag team champions.
Probably. Yeah, I'm with it. Most likely. You're right. No,
I mean, they're not going to put the main title on Will. That's just not going to happen.
no, he's a jobber.
So, he is. He's jobbed twice now. He's in the job again at All In.
Ooh, you think so? I don't know about that.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. All I know is they're not going to put on a better match than they did on Dynamite.
No, MJF beating Will Ospreay in Wembley Stadium. Do you think Tony Khan's going to let that one?
You want major heat on a guy.
Just saying, let MJF go over. But
Who
probably
won?
not.
Who won between Omega and Ospreay in Toronto at Forbidden Door?
Ospreay. It's possible. It's doable. But yeah, they're not
Nonetheless,
going to top their hour banger they put on. Fix your camera.
no, they're not. I still to this day say that was the dumbest thing they could have done. Have a small match there, save that match for All In. Do something different. You don't give away your best match ahead of the big match. That's just weird. Anyways, great match, fantastic match, a lot of fun. Enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, like I said, there's nothing more I really care to talk about until we get to the end here, but I will. Mariah May gets a win over Viva Van, gets attacked by Tony Storm after the match. Just building more fire to that match that's happening. We still have weeks to go for it. Jack, we do have to talk
just
about this.
Because you want to rush through shit doesn't mean I want to rush through shit. Jesus. This was a 6-minute match. It was about 5 minutes too long. It had a break in between. Explain that one. And they buried Viva Van. So cool. Good job, AEW. Can I at least get my shots in at the very least?
That's why you want me to fucking go through it all. I know what you're doing now. We're both gonna have a good laugh here though, because we get a Jack Perry vignette, and then in the middle of his promo, a Taco Bell commercial for a $5 cravings box just goes. And I'm thinking, this is really happening. Taco Bell commercial ends, and Jack Perry's still talking. And then after Jack Perry's vignette ends, we go to commercial, and the very first commercial that plays, the exact same Taco Bell commercial. And I was just like, what?
I didn't know what was going on. All I know is you're like, what the fuck? I looked up because I wasn't even really paying 100% attention. I looked up And all I saw was a big Pepsi logo. I'm like, Jack Perez is talking. Pepsi? Pepsi Phil? What's going on here? Are we taking shots at CM Punk again? And then no, they just fucked up.
They weren't, and I'm like, okay, so we're doing a Taco Bell commercial. Promo ends. First commercial, Taco Bell again, the same thing, and I'm like, oh, somebody
I
fucked.
don't even remember what happened in the promo at this point because
It
all
was
I can
dumb
think about is
promo.
that goddamn Taco Bell.
It was a stupid promo.
It doesn't
Anyway,
help that they had a Taco Bell commercial in the middle of it.
no, made it worse. Darby Allin, we come back from the commercials. Darby Allin cuts a promo saying if he would have lit Jack Perry on fire at Blood and Guts, but he didn't because that would have been an excuse for Jack to skip All In.
I do like what Darby said about you're the TNT champion, but never show up on TNT.
Right. What do we got here? The Shibata, Kazuri Shibata taking on Brian Keith with Chris Jericho on commentary. Shibata's going to pick up the win over Brian Keith. The best part of this match, in my opinion, was Chris Jericho on commentary, putting over the fact that he gets Taz banned from doing commentary when he's doing guest commentary. So, other than that, it was pretty funny. Come back from commercial to that was probably the best part was they come back from commercial and they're talking and Jericho's actually giving analysis and then realizes he's on camera and just shoots to the hi guys back to the commentary. What do you think of the Shibata Brian Keith with the Jericho commentary?
It was too short to really go anywhere. Kind of seems like Shibata's primed to be the next challenger for Chris Jericho's title. I would
Maybe,
think.
maybe.
The biggest thing here is Jericho mentioning Dave Meltzer and Excalibur going who?
Yes. That was the best part. I'm sorry. Not Jericho looking at the camera and saying hi guys. It was the fact that Dave Meltzer was mentioned and the reaction was who? And apparently I didn't look it up. I should
Also,
have when
on
he said
top
it.
of all that, Tony Schiavone at the announce desk looking like this.
He didn't want to be there. But I didn't look up because Jericho said he got a 4-star for his match with Suzuki.
Yeah.
I hope not.
I sure the fuck hope not.
I fucking hope not. That
I mean,
right
if
there.
Gunther was rating that match, he'd probably give it 7 stars.
Yeah, that was sick, right? Look at all the chops. After the match, Big Bill and Chris Jericho attack Shibata, and we get the returning Hook to make the save and sends the learning tree backing away. Hook's back.
Okay.
Orange Cassidy is talking to Renee Paquette, where he promises to fight tonight because although none other member of the conglomeration was going to make it due to travel issues, but don't worry, he found some local boys that were ready to fight. Before we get to that match, we get Renee Paquette again talking to a frustrated Adam Hangman Page, saying
Do you
he
see
will
what
get
Heyman was wearing?
and get what he wants.
Look
Tassels.
oddly familiar. Looked awfully familiar or something.
So something he always wears that Seth Rollins is now stealing.
I don't see it though. I think Heyman Page is now trying to copy Seth Rollins.
Oh, stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. Swerve Strickland, and he speaks with Jim Ross, and
Oh God,
I love Jim Ross, but he's looking rough.
I love Jim too. Jim's a legend. I grew up listening to Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. Legends, absolute fucking legends. Man. But my God, Jim Ross is looking rough. I don't. You gotta hang it up, man. You gotta at some point.
I've listened to his show with Conrad Thompson, and I've listened, and he sounds rough on the newer episodes. I don't watch because I put it in my pocket while I work. But seeing this, I was like, wow, Jim Ross is. I mean, he's old. He is old, but looks rough. I know he's been in the hospital a lot recently. So we'll see. But yeah, Swerve speaks about he questions what will happen when Bryan Danielson's body gives out in their match. He promises to beat Danielson, and he will take possession of his legacy. The next match is Orange Cassidy and the local boys that he mentioned, FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler.
That was fun. That was cool.
Taking on the Beast Mortis, Roosh, and Roderick Strong. OC and FTR are going to pick up the win here. What'd you think of the match?
It was probably a little long. I mean, not surprising with AEW. But it was good. It had some moments in it, but it just felt long. It felt like it was way more than it needed to be. And for such a long match, nothing absolutely crazy happened. It was just a 6-man carnage match, but nothing crazy happened that made you go, "Oh my god!" moment. Like it was just there.
After the match, the Acclaimed came out to confront FTR to talk trash on the mic, but guess what? Their mic didn't work.
I sure hope that was meant. Oh god,
Well, I
because
don't
it looks like
know.
Dax was struggling through that promo after that, like he was fishing for something to make it work, and just finally said, "Fuck it."
So yeah, Dax took control and tried to talk and said, "You know what? We're men. Come down and get through the wall, get this ass beating." They go to brawl. They're separated. We move along. So I don't know if that was a technical issue, but whatever.
If it wasn't a technical issue, that was poorly written because Dax looked lost in that
Yeah.
promo.
The patriarchy are shown backstage. Cage stated that the House of Black and Bang Bang Gang are equally awaiting championship opportunities. Therefore, this week on AEW Collision, there will be a number one contenders match for the AEW World Trio titles, followed by a match against the patriarchy at All In. Cage will serve as the Collision special guest referee. We don't watch Collision. I have not been paying much attention. But I guess we're gonna
A
have a
special
match.
guest referee in a trios match? That's odd.
Whatever works, man. We get a hologram vignette. It is not Ricochet. Yeah.
Again, tattoos and height. Where is Ricochet, by the way? Wasn't he for sure going to sign with AEW?
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Sure. Absolutely. It was guaranteed that he was signing with AEW, right?
More likely than not. Maybe. Possibly.
It's been like 6 weeks.
Well, Dave said he was going to, maybe. So just in case he doesn't, he can pivot.
I think we see Ricochet show back up in Japan before he shows up in AEW at this point.
I think he answers Braun Breaker's open challenge.
I didn't even think about that. Dude, that would be the most best epic long-term storytelling ever. Because they actually did show recently Braun putting Ricochet through the car in like the last couple weeks. They did show that.
Showing his destruction and damage he's put. And Ricochet, the rumors were AEW.
Oh, wow.
But he has not signed anywhere as of right now.
How? Oh, the AEW marks will lose their fucking shit.
I still think he's going to show up on AEW. But I'm just fantasy thinking if Braun comes out and he's like, all right, I got to figure out who's next for this IC title.
Is that your idea or is that something you read?
Totally me. I hand on a Bible. Yeah. No, I'm probably wrong. I think he's showing up on AEW, but just thinking out loud, like
AEW, I don't think would wait that long to get him out there.
Braun's the one that hurt him in storyline, put him through the car. And if Braun comes out and he's like, I said I want whoever wants it, who wants it? Open challenge, and Ricochet comes out. That'd be nice. I'd pop for that. I'd pop for that for sure. Let's talk about something I didn't pop for. Camille, handicap match. She's taking on Jasmine Howe and Clara Carter, who look like they did not want to be there. With a slight thumbs up. I think they were just trying to sell the fact that Camille's a badass. I don't know. It's two jobbers versus Camille. Camille gets the win easily. We get
a Mercedes. Do a squash match, right? Like, if you're just trying to make her look like dominant, you have that match over in 10 seconds.
Right.
It went 1 minute and 52 seconds.
Mercedes Moné, though, is going to cut a promo afterwards on Britt Baker, where she says, Britt's not here tonight, guys. And then talks about something. Thanks the EVPs for suspending Britt. And then says, don't start the DMD stuff because I got bad news. Britt's not here tonight. You already said that. So why are we doubling down? You literally just said it fucking 10 seconds ago. But sure, drive it home. Britt is not here. Double or nothing, I guess. But she's cut off by Tony Schiavone, who is in love with Britt Baker. Says that Tony Khan
lifted. He's probably thinking he has a shot now that Adam Cole and Britt might be over.
I think Tony's gay, though.
No, I don't know where you heard that from, but he's definitely not.
He's not?
No.
I thought I heard he was, unless somebody was just making jokes or something.
Probably. This is one of those situations where you should probably check your sources.
I don't know. when it's a serious conversation, I can check it. I just thought Tony was gay. I don't know. For the literally years, I thought Tony Schiavone was a gay guy. Well, good for him. Tony Khan has informed Tony Schiavone that he has lifted Britt Baker's suspension, and we went to the video where Britt is cutting a promo saying she'll be the first woman to defeat Mercedes when they face off at Wembley Stadium. And she said, Britt's great. Britt's great when talking compared to Mercedes. My God, Britt did just a good promo, and
Sasha has just
the crowd was zero. There was nothing from that crowd.
Nothing.
No cheers, no boos.
No when she sing along with her CEO anymore.
No, fuck
DMD
that.
Got a pop.
When Britt said it, DMD, the crowd chanted with it. So there was that. Yeah. Anything about the Mercedes promo here you got?
Mercedes looked great as always.
Yeah, there you go. She looked good. Look good.
I don't. So, just trying to think of any situations in WWE where they've legit suspended somebody and worked it into a storyline suspension. Usually, they write them off in an injury of some sort.
Right.
Especially when it comes to like a drug policy suspension. They did with Sin Cara multiple times. They would injure him on a match because he's suspended. So they put him out in a match, injure him in the match. He goes, serves the suspension. I'm not. This was a legit locker room issue that everybody fucking knows about in the world because it leaks out. And then you work it into a storyline. I don't know. If I was Britt, I'd be pretty pissed off that they just worked that into a storyline.
That's AEW for you. We get a Danielson Strickland package hyping up their match, and then we get a video package recapping Claudio Castagnoli earning a shot at the AEW Continental Championship. He will come face to face with Kazuchika Okada, the champion, next week on AEW.
Hey, Okada's way better off in AEW. They won't make him look weak or useless at all. When's the last time Okada's wrestled in a singles match?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Can't tell. I'm genuinely racking my head to think when he would have had a match, because he was in. Was there one leading up to Blood and Guts or no?
Can't remember. It's been a while since I think he's defended the title once.
Well, I thought Christopher Daniels made him have a match because he made the Young Bucks have a title match or something against the Acclaimed.
The Young Bucks haven't defended the titles at all.
No, it was an eliminator match, the one that they keep talking about that the Acclaimed won. And I think that same night he had a match, but it's been a while.
Anyways, nonetheless, this guy's supposedly top tier talent in the world, and this is how you.
Yeah. Anyway, main event time. Anything goes match. Bryan Danielson, Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett is Jeff Jarrett at this point in his career, and I don't think he should be main eventing anything. I'm sorry. I tried to pay attention to the match best I could. They went out into the crowd, had that spot.
Only takeaway from this match is when they went up into the concourse, and there were people up there. Now, two things could have happened. One, AEW put some fans up there. Or two, that's how many fans you have out of their fucking seats on your main event. Think about that.
Yeah, I didn't think of that at the time, but you're not wrong.
Think about that. If you have that many fans out of their seats on the main event of your show.
Yeah. I didn't think of it that way, but you're not wrong. I'd hope they planted them up there. But nonetheless, got to think of it that way too.
I get after they got up there, I'm sure a lot of the fans came from the stands to go up there and be like, oh, they're fighting out in the hallways. Let's go.
Let's go
up.
But
when they first got up there was quite a few fucking fans up there already.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't think of it that way. Bryan Danielson is going to pick up the win, of course, over Jeff Jarrett here with a psycho knee with the chair. Danielson and Jarrett show some respect. We have Wheeler Yuta there. All of Jeff's people, Karen Jarrett, and why am I spacing his name? Jay Lethal are there, and Swerve's music hits, and Swerve hypes up. Oh, Ricky Steamboat as well. I totally glance over the fact that Ricky Steamboat was on commentary. He was in the ring post match as well, and Swerve came out and cut a promo of talking about how cool is it that people that have been trailblazers here on TBS and TNT talking about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat back from the WCW days, Jeff Jarrett, great guy here on TNT, and the other one, me. I was like, oh, nice, that was a good one. And then basically takes the shots at Brian, like, hey, all three of us have held a title on this television network. You haven't held a single one. Good look. Swerve's promos have gotten really good and personal, per se. He knows it's like he knows what to say. Obviously, I don't know if he's writing it or who the fuck's writing it, but the way he delivers the promos is legit.
There ain't no way any of the writers at AEW is writing that shit.
That's it's got to be Swerve. But no, his promos are great. Just adds more to the match, and he says, since you had a warm up match here against Jeff Jarrett, I think I need one too, and I'll take on your boy Wheeler Yuta next week. Wheeler accepts the challenge and says, "I'm not a warm up, and you are a warm up, brother. You're not beating Swerve Strickland." But that could be a good match. But
it could be a really good match. Wheeler Yuta is really good.
Yes. But yeah, that was the end of the show. What do you think of Swerve's promo against Danielson?
It's good shit. He's losing the title. You know he is.
I'm not saying because I'm a Swerve fan. I don't think that's the right call. I don't.
It's not. I said this last week when they did the whole thing. Danielson is done. He said this multiple times. He says in every interview, he's like, I've been told I can't wrestle a certain style of wrestling anymore. And then he goes on to say, that's why I have to quit, because I can't stop wrestling that style of wrestling. It showed in this match. He did that. He did a backflip off the top ropes. He was going to go to a move. Jeff Jarrett rushed him. Granted, you know what? This match wasn't that bad. Jeff Jarrett can still go for being in the business 40 years. He wrestles a very effective style. He's a legend of the ring. You can't even his checkered past. He's good. There wasn't anything wrong with his match. Danielson can still go too, but he said in interviews like, I can't. Doctors told me I can't wrestle that style, which is why I have to quit, because I can't stop wrestling that style. I can't just change. That's how I wrestle. So, do you even think about putting the title on a Danielson at this point? Wrestle Dreams when? When is Wrestle Dreams supposed to be happening? That's their new pay-per-view.
I don't know.
Anyways, unless Danielson said earlier this year he wants to wrestle All and he wants to Wrestle Dream. Those are the two things he wants to do before he's done. He might just be on one base off contract, but do you let him hold the title to Wrestle Dream and that's where he loses it? What do you do in the meantime while he's holding that? What are we doing? Like, Danielson is not a full-time wrestler anymore. He's out the 1 foot out the door already. He's promised Bree that
October 12th.
So what? You let him hold the title for 2 months or a month and a half? Maybe.
I don't think that's a good idea.
But nonetheless, how do you make this work? I don't get it. He's told Bree that he's done. He promised his family that he's done. Is he going to lie to Bree? I mean, they're wrestlers. This is typical of any wrestler.
I know.
But Bryan Danielson has had some legitimate neck issue. Hell, in 18, 17, somewhere in there, he was told that he could never wrestle again. And now he's back doing all, like, what are we? Swerve is so good as your champion. Do you want him to lose it this way? Do you just let him win it back? Or are you waiting to Ospreay to take off Danielson? Do you want Danielson Ospreay for the title? Ospreay finally wins the title there. How are we doing this? How? What are we doing? Why would you like?
Them adding the stipulation of career-ending thing pissed me off, because now it kind of is like, fuck, he's gonna win, isn't he? Just in case they want to stick to it. But we know how that is in retirement matches. That shit don't last. It never does. It's a wrestling. It's pro wrestling. But I think
they killed Vince McMahon. He should have stayed dead, but they killed him. He came back 2 months later.
If Swerve is your guy, you have painted him as the guy for the AEW for the future. He's one of your main stars. Why are you going to have him not go over against a legend and Bryan Danielson? Imagine Swerve beating Bryan Danielson is such a feather in the cap to Swerve Strickland's career. It would be fantastic for his resume. But all signs are kind of pointing towards Danielson's going to win the title because he's never won a title in AEW. I don't know. I don't like it. and I'm not saying all this because Swerve's my guy, but it just doesn't make sense.
I
for
don't
him to
even
lose.
I don't even like it. And I don't think Swerve is the guy like you do. He's
And
good.
that's, yeah, and that's fine.
He's done a
But
very good job. He's done way better with the title than I would expect it after he won it off Samoa. I wasn't happy about that. But I don't think that Danielson's the guy to beat him. I don't think he is.
shouldn't
If you're doing it just for the simple fact of Danielson winning the title because he hasn't won one, that's not the right reason. Because you're just gonna stunt the momentum of Swerve here. You could turn Swerve into your biggest star by having him hold the title for another 6 months.
Well,
And
we're
that's
close
weird
to-
coming from me because I
Yeah.
hate long title reigns. I hate them.
Yeah. Well, this means our show is coming to an end here. That is the Dynamite recap. We got to do what we always do and figure it out. I don't know if we're counting the pay-per-view or not. I think we can maybe. But what would your show of the week be?
Raw.
I'm not going to count SummerSlam for this one, I don't think. And I'm going to agree
You
with
can
you.
if you want. I just
Well,
think Raw was great.
I'm going to... Raw was so good. I'm going to go SummerSlam, but man, Raw is a close second for sure. But I'm going to go SummerSlam. I thought SummerSlam was fantastic. But who was your wrestler of the week?
Damian Priest.
I was going to say Damian too. Just for the SummerSlam match and then the promos and what he did on Raw. Oh, do I be different?
Damian Priest Gunther was the best match of the week, hands down.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be different. I'm gonna agree with you. Damian, that was fantastic. I'll give Damian the edge over Gunther because of the SummerSlam and Monday Night Raw and what he did on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, I agree with you on that. Damian for sure. Well, with that being said, though, this week back to the normally scheduled program, 4 weekly shows. We'll make a decision on Dynamite. But we'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. Maybe we ride it out till All In.
Is All In and Bash in the Berlin the same weekend?
I don't know. I'll have to look that up. We got to watch, apparently, the G1 Climax match between Takeshita and El Phantasmo.
If there is one thing when Dave Meltzer gives a match high praise, he's usually right. Unfortunately.
Yep, it's true. It is true. But yeah, anyway, RK, do you have any parting words for the people?
Yeah, we're coming up on collisions numbers, so yay us.
That being said, woo to that. I'm Kurt. That's RK. Thank you so much for tuning in to This Week in Wrestling, episode number 17. We'll be back next week with episode number 18. Talk to you then.